chapter 58 and verse 1. Cry aloud, spare not, lift up thy voice like a trumpet, and show my people their transgressions, and the house of Jacob their sins.
Copyright disclaimer. This content does not belong to Bible Chronicles or claim this intellectual property. The content provided today has and always will belong to the content owner. Bible Chronicles does not have any affiliation with the owner of this property. As mentioned, Bible Chronicles intend to make use of any material for the purpose of harvesting gain. However, Title 17 of United States copyright law states material in use can only be done when it's for theological or general educational purposes, and thus Bible Chronicles believes that this principal material falls under fair use, which honors protection under Section 107 of the same U.S. copyright law.
Chicanos killing Chicanos is what they want. Blacks and Chicanos killing each other is what they want. That's how they run this place. Once we get together, they don't run shit. You got a lot to learn about being Chicano.
Yeah, Alcatraz, midget loco. Yeah. They never seen this coming, man. What up, Loom? What up, Oreo? 500 years of captivity. What else? Now they trying to tell us how we supposed to be, how we supposed to act, how we supposed to rap. How I'm brown, but my flow too black. Come on, y'all kidding me, right? Nike Air Flights fitted cock back fresh. Representando mexicanos on the mat. No estoy jugando, got bars like I battle on smack. But hold on, I'ma bring it right back. My people indigenous. I'm not sure if you getting this. By the time I'm done, you gon' be feeling this. I come from the people they call Mexica. I've been to the motherland, Chichen Itza. Seen the Mayan ruins, intellectual architects. Been in the cenote, seen ancient artifacts. Really? Cali is Mexico, those are the facts. They raped women, gave elders heart attacks. It was a battle, our people were outgunned. Took life and cattle, we were outdone. However, 2 wars proudly we take to the grave. Those we call our Independence Day. It's time to stand up, educate our people. Stay on our ground, let them know that we equal. We see your plan, but your plan is see-through. You can't stop my people. Mexicano, I'm brown and proud. Mexicano, I'm brown and proud. Mexicano, I'm brown and proud. Mexicano, I'm holding it down.
It all started with Mexicans, Mexicano. Gave birth to the word that we know as Chicanos. Aztec warrior, man, it's all in my blood. From the Tenochtitlan, that's the heart of the love. Now I'm Mexico City, that's a modern day name. Don't let the books confuse it to be a modern day slave. Gotta get your facts right and study the culture. Don't be like Cortez, he came like a vulture. Came to just steal and take away the land. He seen what we got and he was like, damn, who would've guessed it had to be a white man? Damn again, now we got stolen lands. They say go back to where the fuck you from. Man, this is my land, that's what you stole from us. I'm not Hispanic or Latino, I'm a Mexican. Man, fuck La Milicia, you can have that bitch.
It's time to stand up, educate our people. Stay on our ground, let them know that we equal. We see your plan, but your plan is see-through. You can't stop my people. Mexicano, I'm brown and proud. Mexicano, I'm brown and proud. Mexicano, I'm brown and proud. Mexicano, I'm holding it down, yeah.
When I think of all the years I struggled without complaining, like when I came here, we're walking all the way from Michoacan, and what your mother went through to bring you back when you were a baby, so you grew up to be a man with respect. Don't you have any pride?
El autor viene a decirnos con mucha firmeza y gran convencimiento lo mismo que nos decía en el siglo XVIII el barón de Holbach, ¿no? Un filósofo francés de origen alemán. Si nos remontamos al comienzo, entonces hallaremos que la ignorancia y el temor crearon a los dioses. La fantasía, el entusiasmo o el engaño los adornaron o desfiguraron. La debilidad les rinde culto, la credulidad los conserva, la costumbre los respeta y la tiranía los apoya para que la ceguera de los hombres sirva a sus propios intereses.
I'm not making these things up, okay? It's just like I don't know, you call it revelation, whatever, and it's just coming and I'm just providing. So what I'm gonna do, like man, I'm not gonna argue. And I thought about my approach the other couple of days, and I am obviously upset because of what I found out, But quite frankly, um, there's obviously anger is not gonna solve anything. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna keep presenting my case. I'm gonna keep presenting what I find. I'm gonna keep presenting what I feel, what I sense that the Most High is providing me because it just makes it's connecting the dots. You know what I'm saying? If you guys still think that I'm full of it, or I don't know, my precepts suck. That's what I was told. That I'm still a racist and I'm causing division and I'm causing hate, and that my precepts suck and they don't make sense, and that they're praying for me and my family because I'm not in the truth and I'm destroying them and I'm bugged out. So let's start, man. You know what I'm saying? Let's start. I don't got time for that, man. I'm just gonna go. All right, First Corinthians chapter 1 verse 25. Okay, so this is one of the best, at least for me. I really like this scripture because it defines everything about brothers and sisters like myself that don't have a very luxurious background. We didn't grow up in a silver spoon. We didn't go to college. You know what I'm saying? Some of us hardly made it through high school. Some of us didn't even make it. First Corinthians 1:25, it says, because the foolishness of God is wiser than men, and the weakness of God is stronger than men. I think it makes perfect sense, right? I mean, even the most simplest, if God had any kind of simple space within him, his consciousness, if there was such a thing for him, it'd still be smarter than the wisest man in this world. Altogether, like a think tank, okay? The weakness of God is stronger than men. You can see that, right? Now, listen, for ye see your calling, brethren, and this is what I'm sharing with you guys, man. It's going to be difficult to be quite frank with you, man. But look, as you know, what kind of doctrine is out there, okay? So it's a doctrine that says that only a particular tribe, so-called Judah, are authorized by the Most High to give up prophecy, and if it's not their precepts, then we don't know anything. My understanding is they call us silly dubs. What do we know, right? And honestly, man, you know what? I'll side with you today. The IUIC, GMS, Sakari, ISOPK. You're right. I'm just a wetbag. I'm just a silly dub. I don't know any better. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna present what I have, and then if I still continue to be a dumbass, then I guess I'm a dumbass. You know what I'm saying? And if I'm wicked and evil, and then all praises to the Most High that He will destroy me, because this is not what I want. This is not what I want. I care for my brothers and sisters, and I know that
what I'm about to share today is gonna really, if there's people watching, not a lot of people watch this channel, man. Who am I? You know what I'm saying? But the few that are not familiar with me and that have common sense and logic and are not manipulated by, the conditioning that we go through, right? At least you have like some kind of sense of mind. You may actually hear it. You may actually see it. But again, I'll do my best and I'll continue. And Lord willing, man, he still wants to deal with me because, yeah, it is disappointing to be honest with you. I know now what Jeremiah feels. Anyhow, 1 Corinthians 1:25, because the foolishness of God is wiser than men, and the weakness of God is stronger than men. For ye see your calling, brethren, how that not many wise men after the flesh, meaning like, you see these physically fit individuals, you know what I'm saying? God's not calling them. And it says there, how that not many wise men after the flesh, not many mighty, right? So he's not talking about, oh, I'm gonna go talk to the wise scholars and the people that write books and that say that they know everything about the history of the Hebrews and that because they have experience in Africa that and because they're black, that they know everything. I mean, what do we do? What do we know, right? We're just Mongols. This is what I hear. So anyhow, so I guess yeah, it says because of the foolishness of God is wiser than men. Hold on, let me go back. For you see, you call them brethren. Excuse me. But God had chosen the foolish things of the world to confound the wise, and God had chosen the weak things of the world to confound the things which are not. Okay. And the base things of the world and the things which are despised, God had chosen, yea, and things which are not to bring to not things that are. So people like myself, we don't know, we ain't nobody, man. I don't have a camp. I don't have like 1,000 people following me. Sure as hell don't even have like probably 30 people signed up on this channel. But I'm not in it like that, Ugh. I'm just sharing what is being provided to me, and no individual is doing this. It's just the spirit, guys. I mean, that's all I can tell you. Okay, believe it if you want to. You don't have to. It's obviously God, the Most High, that is watching and listening and writing down everything that we say. So my hands are clean. Job 33:14, it says, "For God speaketh once, yea, twice, yet man perceiveth not." So, for you brothers and sisters, God does find a way to communicate with us, whether it's through, particular angels or particular scriptures or thoughts that come to mind. You know what I mean? And it says here, in a dream, in a vision of the night, when deep sleep falleth upon men, in slumbering upon the bed, then he openeth the ears of men and sealeth their instructions. Okay? Now, there's a scripture that talks about this right here. And then, hold on a second. And it just came to me. So, hold on. It just came to me. So let me read this real quick. It says here, in a dream, in a vision of the night, when deep sleep falleth upon men, in slumbering upon the bed, when he openeth the ears of men and sealeth their instructions, right? So obviously this doesn't happen overnight, okay? It's not something that you can just like all of a sudden the Most High is going to figure out a way. No, you got to be a man that's keeping the laws of God and then that you're meditating on them always and every single time, okay? Because then something happens within that spirit, within ourselves. Second Ezra 14:40 says, and I took it and drank it. And when I had drunk it, my heart uttered understanding. So it's like, you apply the commandments, you started learning, you started reading, you started really being meek and disciplined and completely humble, not trying to go jump into Sirach or anything, right? Just literally like just keeping it basic, being a baby again. And I took it and I drank it, meaning I grabbed the scriptures and I started studying it, right? And when I had drunk it, my heart uttered understanding, meaning my mind, right? And the wisdom grew in my breast, meaning the wisdom grew in my spirit, my understanding. For my spirit strengthened my memory. My spirit strengthened my memory. That's why when you hear that he may withdraw man from his purpose and open up the ears of men, this only happens when you're strengthening your memory on a spiritual level. You understand? Now, I mean, like, listen, whoever is listening to me, and they might think, oh, yeah, that's not a precept of the Hebrew, what is it? Hebrew, what is it? Compodium or something? Some Hebrew compodium doctrine, I guess. I don't know. I'm just saying, man, that's what came to mind. So, maybe I don't know anything. You know what I'm saying? So it's all good. I'll continue. Proverbs 24 and 30. It goes, Proverbs 24:30 says, and I went by the field of a slothful, and by the vineyard of a man void of understanding. So you see here Solomon, and imagine somebody walking, like, okay, like down the street, you're walking, and it says, and I went by the field of a slothful, and by the vineyard of the man void of understanding. So this man wasn't disciplined, he wasn't preparing, but this is in a parable as well. Okay, so I'm gonna explain to you in two ways, like this: he wasn't preparing, he wasn't doing much, he wasn't fixing his home. No, but in this sense, it's like I went by the field of the slothful, and by the vineyard of the man void of understanding. Meaning what? You're not in the laws of God. You're not studying. You're void of understanding. You're literally not in those commandments. This is why you have no hedge. You have no protection. Any doctrine can come in and just completely throw you off guard. Especially now, brothers and sisters, to be quite frank with you, there's going to be so many, especially the one right now is very powerful, okay? And lo, it was all grown over thorns, and nettles had covered the face thereof, and the stone wall thereof was broken. So it's like you could see it as an actual building, really destroyed, not being kept. But this is also you. And lo, it was all grown grown all over with thorns. Those thorns, listen, guys, those are those spirits that you never took care of. You see, you're never going to cleanse your spirit. You're never going to cleanse your ways. You're never going to change if you don't get rid of those thorns. And the only way that happens is the actual rigorous work. Okay, I talked about that as like the actual fetters in Sirach 6, I believe, or Sirach 21. I believe it's Sirach 6. And it says, and lo, it was all growing over the thorns, and nettles had covered the face thereof, and the stone wall thereof was broken down. Then he says, then I saw and considered it well, and looked upon it and received instructions. What he's basically letting us know is what? You looked upon it, you consider it, right? You don't always have to learn from experience in the sense of it happening to you. You can acknowledge, you can see things, you can pay attention to what is going on within your family, within society, you know what I'm saying? Within individuals. So like, for example, if you have a friend that's not really doing well, this is an example. You're learning from that example, you know what I'm saying? So anyways, let me get back on track here. And I started and considered it well, and I looked upon it and received instructions. Why am I bringing this up? Because honestly, as I'm looking at the way that this our Bible is being maneuvered, and there's so many thorns I see, man, and nettles, and it's not being kept up, honestly, because like in construction, if you don't lay down the foundation properly, and even a simple earthquake will really shake it off, right? And as you can see, you're going to see what I'm talking about. There's so much going on right now that I want to wake you guys up. Pay attention. Pay close attention, okay? There's an attack on our heritage from the so-called blacks and the so-called whites. Yes, I said it. The Phoenicians, the Canaanites, and I'm going to prove it today. By the way, the brothers and sisters that can set their emotions aside and listen to what I'm saying, that if you're Hebrew and you look like a so-called African, then you mix with the other nations. And there's nothing absolutely wrong with that. Well, what I'm trying to do is wake you up that the truth is not what you think it is. And I'll show you, okay? I'll show you, and then you guys can decide. You call me racist or call me crazy or whatever, man. I've been called worse. So what I'm doing is I'm just playing some videos regarding like what I'm seeing. You know what I mean? I'm sharing with you guys what I'm seeing, the scriptures I'm reading, what I'm seeing, what's being provided to me. That's all I'm doing. And you guys decide.
Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger, and in thirst, and in nakedness, and in want of all things. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck, until he have destroyed thee. Therefore shalt, and he shall, which the Lord shall send against thee. And he shall put a yoke of, and he upon thy neck, and he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck, and he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck, until he have destroyed thee. And it shall come to pass,
is in the Torah. And what is Aboriginal American history? And what is Hebrew/Israelite history? Can you have one without the other? If you answered yes, you are seriously mistaken. Some people watching this documentary, my goal is...
Oh, by the way, I almost forgot. Let me read this, guys. This content does not belong to Bible Chronicles, nor does Bible Chronicles claim this intellectual property. The content provided today has always and will belong to the content owner. Bible Chronicles does not have any affiliation with the owner of this property. As mentioned, Bible Chronicles does not intend to make any use of any material for the purpose to harvest any financial gain. However, under Title 17 of the United States copyright law, states material in use can only be done when it's for the theological, scholastic, sorry, I spelled it wrong, and general educational purposes. And thus, Bible Chronicles believes that this principal material falls under fair use, which honors protection under Section 107 of the same U.S. copyright law. Believe it or not, I wrote that, and then I copied some of it. So, you just Google stuff, man. It's not a big deal. Anyways, all right, let me continue.
Is that both of these groups will have some type of spark in their mental recollection that previously never ignited. We are not from Africa, and Aboriginal American history is in the Torah. And what most people don't perceive is the fact that the well-known passage of Torah, known as Deuteronomy 28, is specifically about the plight of the American Aborigines since the last several centuries. Before I start,
Let's see what's going on. Yeah, that I read that actually too. It's very similar. You know what? Let me read that. Aboriginal says an original or primitive habitant, the first settlers in the country, are called Aboriginals, as the Celts in Europe and the Indians in America. Okay, all right. It says American, Native American originally applied to Aboriginals, copper-colored race found here by the Europeans, but now applied to the descendants of the Europeans born in America. Yeah, true. Tell me again how all our ancestors are from Africa. Okay. I want to just say one thing, guys. I don't pay attention to very new pictures because did people forget what happened in 1492? I mean, if that is such a thing, right? You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. By the way, I say that guy on Facebook, right? This guy right here, and I guess his whole idea is that the original inhabitants of America were African. And well, you guys don't say African, but you look like Africans, right? You look like the people in Africa. So you can slice it however you want. You know what I mean? Potato, potato, tomato, tomato. You know, it's the same thing. You can say, yeah, you're so-called Aboriginals from the Americas, but you look African, and you say they're your brothers too. All right. Remember that picture, right? Know the difference. So we're Mongols, reds, whites, natives. So let me just tell you guys something real quick. This is for all you one who is camp, uh, I guess congregators, whatever. You see this here? This is no different than them telling you silly dogs. It's no different. You guys got to remember, man, who the real Hebrews are. It. Do you guys forget who was sold first to slavery? You guys forget who threw Joseph in the pit? And who felt bad for him, I guess. See, the worst thing is that a lot of these kids, because they're kids, and then some grown-ups, man, you're gonna find out they're doing is they're using material that has been provided, and that material being provided, it has a purpose behind it. I'm gonna show you guys something real quick. I like to read. Well, I got used to reading King James, okay, so I read it a lot. I have other translations, the scriptures, the Tanakh, regular, and I always use different translations. You always have to do that, okay? And I when I found out what I found out last night, after everything I had compiled, I wasn't gonna do this class today, but it's like there's too much waiting. There's too much. I have too much, and I gotta let y'all know, okay? It was disappointing at the same time, but it's like it's still the scriptures of the Most High, but it's the intent behind King James. You're gonna find out today. Let's get rid of this, man. I'm done seeing this stuff. Let's see what else. Yeah, let's get some scriptures, man. Let's get some Bible verses. You know what I'm saying? Let's see Isaiah. Let's go to Isaiah real quick. Isaiah chapter 10, and then verse 1. It says, "Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, and that right grievous which." I'm sorry. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees. Okay, so like passing laws, unrighteous laws. All right, and that right grievousness which they have prescribed, meaning oppressive laws. You know what I'm saying? Things that are not going to benefit our people. To turn aside the needy from judgment, and to take away the right from the poor of my people. Now that also is, in case you guys don't want to accept it because my precepts suck. Okay, fine. Take away the right is also the covenant, the doors, salvation. What did Romans 9 say? My brethren, who pertain to the adoption, the covenants, the glory, the promises, the giving of the law. That right there, right? That's what it's basically telling you. Well, you could use it in other ways too if you want to, I guess, in a sense. But it says turn aside the needy from judgment and to take away the right that belongs to us, meaning what? Salvation. salvation and possible and not possible and destruction for the enemy, right? To take away the right from the poor of my people, because we're poor spiritually, we're destroyed. I mean, look, listen. Some of us are doing okay, but it still sucks because it's painful to me to see my people being destroyed spiritually, and then out in the world, and then all of a sudden now in another church, they're literally like drugged. No pun intended, but they drank the Kool-Aid. You know what I'm saying? It's like that. Let's see, and it says here to turn aside the needy from judgment and to take away the right from the poor of my people, that widows that may be their prey, and that they may rob the fatherless. Okay, so let me show you this real quick. I read that. I put that scripture down because of this, and see, that's why you got to pay a lot of attention to the way that these enemies are communicating with us. And I want to call y'all heathens, okay? Whether you are a Phoenician, Canaanite, or a Edomite, because you're both in this game, and I see it. Lord willing, brothers and sisters see it too. Okay, so look, it says the use of the term, and this is from a book I have. And honestly, if you guys want it, just I reach out and I'll give it to you. The use of the term, and you probably know this too. The use of the term Negro in Black to include persons of Native American ancestry in Anglo North America. Okay, remember, keep in mind that if you want to attack a nation, and you know that you can't do it physically, you have to do it psychologically. In 1854, the California State Supreme Court sought to bar non-Caucasians from equal citizenship and civil rights. The court stated, but see, it's tricky because it says sought to bar all non-Caucasians, right? It says that, but check this out. It says the word black, like the color black, for example, may include all Negroes. So Negros, okay? But the term Negro, Negor, does not include all blacks or black persons. So obviously here we're seeing that negro, is different than the Negroes, because this negro cannot be considered black person, but this Negro can be considered black person, which means basically it says the word black may include all Negroes, may, but the term Negro does not include all blacks person. You got to pay attention to the wording. This is basically they call it exploration of ethics, right? Or exploitation of ethics, right? Or exploitation of your heritage. Because that's exactly what's going on right now. That's exactly what's going on right now. Okay? Let's go to Isaiah 10:6, and it says, and I will send against him a hypocritical nation, right? And against the people of my wrath will I give him a charge, to take the spoil and to take the prey and to thread them down like the mere of the street. I put this one in here. Oh, let's see. In the Syria of my anger. Well, I mean, in a sense, this is actually applying towards us, right? But I wanted to use it because it says, and I will send against him a hypocritical nation. That's really it. So again, this is more towards us. This is towards us, but I'm using this specific space. And I will send against him, meaning you Israelites, a hypocritical nation. Now, why am I saying that? Because as you know, regardless of what Aboriginals believe or think of or misunderstand, we are here. You know what I mean? Like, hey guys, we are here. So somehow, some way, if you say you're from here and we're not, then that means we were taken in slave ships. And wouldn't that make it Deuteronomy 28? Again, I will send him against a hypocritical nation. This is towards us, but I'm using it for this purpose. I understand. Against YouTube, I don't own any of this material. It's only for educational purposes. Thank you.
And you think you are defending the plight of the black man, or yes, in your case, the black woman. But we are doing a disservice to the argument, much less your people, by conflating race with basic common sense.
I would say this. The disenfranchisement of black people in America is by design written into the actual DNA of this country. Your argument, however flawed, has been successfully promoted and propagated through repetition. We hear it over and over again. But I'm here to tell you that this vicious cycle of inequity will soon be broken.
The legacy of slavery and placing slavery at the center of the narrative. And that's what we did. It's not that we were hiding anything. I find the backlash in some ways unsurprising and in some ways surprising. For instance, with respect to Mr. Page, when one suggests that the 1619 Project is a project about black victimization and not patriotism, it makes me wonder if Mr. Page even read the project, or if Mr. Page even read my essay, because my essay is about how black people, despite undergoing chattel slavery, legal apartheid, lynching, racial terrorism, segregated schools, segregated housing, segregated military, believed fervently in the founding ideals and have fought generation after generation to make those ideals true, and in fact had a faith in a country that didn't treat us as citizens and expanded democracy for all Americans.
What's this girl's name? Miss Piggy. We're here. Unless you're an Aboriginal believer, it sounds like you're a believer that you're African because you're complaining about being enslaved. You do know that these lands were ours, right? Now, the funny part is that you guys weren't the only ones going through shit. Our lands were taken from the white man and you guys too. But yet, you're saying that everything was against you guys, and the so-called Hispanics, the beaners, wetbags, the rapists, murderers, the ones that go through where people can actually walk in your home and take your mom and your dad, separate your children, claim that this land is not ours anymore, makes us illegal, brands us with names, has white folks going in stores, shooting us up. Okay. But we're not suffering. That's not suffering. That's absolutely not suffering. Okay. What do I know, right? Remember what one West Camp says about you so-called Hispanics. We're silly doves. What right do we have to even question this thing here? Like I said, I've been told that my precepts make no sense, and that they're gonna pray for me because I'm destroying my family. Oh man. Okay, so you heard her, right? You heard her, right? So look, listen. I bought this. I got this from a particular book, and I don't remember. But again, if you need it, I'll get it. It says here, most of the listings are in the South, but there are also listings of free black owners of slaves. Look, if you can type this up, you can actually find the book too. It says here, slaves in the district. Well, hold on, let me slow down. But there are also listings of free black owners of slaves in the District of Columbia, Illinois, Maine, New Hampshire, New Jersey, New York, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island. In the North, Pennsylvania had the most number of free black owners of slaves, okay? In Pennsylvania, numbering 23, with New York and New Jersey next. In the South, the majority of free black owners of slaves were to be found in Maryland, Virginia, South Carolina, Louisiana. And in many cases, Dr. Woodson says that the ownership was philanthropic. Oh man, I don't even want to read it. With the free husband purchasing, blah blah blah. But it says here, but in many other cases, the land and slave holdings of these free black rivaled those of white planters. And I think this is from the Jew and Muslim. I think so. I think that may be it. Let's see. In many other cases, let's see. In many other cases, slave holdings of these free blacks rivaled those of white planters. In South Carolina, there were over 600 black owners of slaves listed. Now, I'm going to share something with you guys. I have a book that shows this stuff. And guess what? Those slaves, they don't show the names of the slaves. You know what they showed? We were just numbers. So those slaves, those were not black folks. They were not black folks. 34 of whom were listed as owning over 100 slaves each. 3,400, and that's not even considering the 600 total. Even if each one of them have an average of 5 minus, 3,400, what is that? Let's see, what's that? 600 minus 34, 546? 536, something like that? And then you multiply that times 5. Let's say they average it, 536. Let's just average it. Okay, let's say, I might be wrong, 536, or 536, let's say, for example, and let's say each one has about 8 slaves. That's 4,888 plus the other ones, what? 200 and more, about 8, like, yeah, so about each among were owning 200 or more. Were 3, let's see, 34 of whom were over 100, among whom were 3 owning 200 or more. So there was 2 or 3 that were owning 200 or more of our brothers and sisters, okay? So, like, if you think about it, it's well over 6,000-7,000 people. Well over 6,000-7,000 people, okay? But I was going to play this later, but now I'm confused.
The one that will probably be the most surprising to readers is the one by Harvard historian Taya Miles on settler colonialism, Indian removal, and how the 5 so-called civilized tribes also engaged in chattel slavery. I knew we needed to have an essay that dealt with Indian removal, but we had to find the right ones.
See, look, listen, man, I'm going to tell you something. If I was a black man and this white woman, if she was a white woman and I'm saying these things and I'm like, you know, this lying-ass demon, heathen, damn cracker, you guys would not have a problem with that. But because she is so-called, she's not even black. Anyways, because of that, guess what? Y'all don't say shit. Well, guess what? She's a freaking demon. That's the spirit of Canaan. Because we just saw, like, wait a minute, you guys have like a lot of slaves, and I know they weren't black, like African Americans, so-called. Here, I'll give you more. What's that guy from IUIC? This ain't hate talk. Oh, yeah, matter of fact, I'll show you. Here, you guys want truth? Let's find out. Let's find out what truth is right here. Let's see this guy. Yeah, I saw him. Oh man, that's not it. Damn it. Maybe I don't have it anymore. Hold on. Let's see. Maybe is. Where is he at? Said he wanted truth. Oh, let me see if I can grab him here. Because you know what? Honestly, I mean, we're being told that people want the truth. People want the truth. You know, John 8:32. We want the truth, and the truth shall make you free. You know, like I want the truth, man. I want the truth. I need to know the truth, brother. Okay. Well, we're gonna give you some truth today, and let's see if you can actually, if you really mean what you're saying. After today, I will tell you guys, whoever is that diehard, mad scientist with the King James Bible, and you swear up and down that he's an Israelite, you are in for a very rude awakening today. A humongous disappointment from your leadership that could have just basically told you guys the truth. And I honestly believe, I sincerely believe, something in my spirit is telling me that they know.
Love thy neighbor as thyself. That's right.
Again, this material doesn't belong to me, just for educational purposes. Please, YouTube, don't block me.
All right. Let's answer this question.
This guy says he wants to know the truth, so let's hear what he says.
I want to ask you a couple questions too. Come on. Chapter 6. Hold on, bro. I'm about to read. I'm about to answer your question right here. Come on. The book of Psalms, chapter 68 and verse 11. Bring it up. The Lord gave the word. The Most High God gave the word. That's right. And what does he look like? He's a black man. He has woolly hair. Right. And when Christ comes, his son, he's a black man as well. He has woolly hair. That's and he's going to judge this whole planet Earth. Right. The Lord's going to judge America. Right. America is the last kingdom before Christ comes. Right. America evil that it has done upon the whole world.
Bring it out.
Oh, America has raped, robbed, and pillaged the whole planet Earth, and these are the accessories. All right, the so-called white man, because he's not white, he's red. This ain't no hate campaign. This is truth. This is truth.
All right, so I want you guys to remember what he's saying. So when you guys bug out on me, you know, I'm going to tell you, this is truth. This is simply truth, right? Let me do something here. Let's see, it's page 10. Okay. So I'm trying to show you guys something real quick. It's a particular type of spirit that every nation will always manifest itself over and over and over, past, present, future. Okay, which is why we're going to touch on Ezekiel 28, because a lot of people say that Ezekiel 28 is Esau. The Christians, the black Hebrews call him Esau. They say that it's Esau, Ezekiel 28, even though it's not even saying Esau at all. Okay. The so-called white man says that it's Satan. All right. And other than that, I think Sakari got almost close, but then they stopped because apparently the regeneration aspect of the Tanakh, the Torah, the past, present, future, apparently it applies to everything but that scripture, because they said that already happened. It ain't going to happen again. Which, I'm going to tell you something. It happened again. And I'm going to show you guys with the Bible and with documentation outside the Bible. And you guys can verify it again. I'm just presenting. You decide. Again, maybe I'm just a silly dove, and what do I know, right? I'm just a so-called wetbag, Northern Kingdom dude. You know what I mean? I'm not Judah, so I shouldn't have the authority to even, like, the audacity of mine to think that I know the Bible. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just not going to fly. All right, so check this out. I have this book. Let me read this first. Let me read this book. Hold on. Let me read this first because it's important. So here we're talking about the history of Ireland. So we know now that in Ireland and Britain, in Scott, we've gone through some classes before. I've showed that the European or the so-called Europeans at that time were the Phoenicians, the Canaanites. Okay, now Europe is called Europa, which is the name of the actual Phoenician goddess. You guys can look this stuff up. I put a video up so you guys can look at it. I'm not going to look through it. Okay, so I've showed all those things. So I basically am saying that the Phoenicians were there, they conquered those lands, and the Phoenicians had been there since until 1492. I'm going to prove it. It says, and in those days Herodotus, by whom first vaguely and without any certain knowledge of a sea beyond the straits, the importation of tin from the Cassiterides is mentioned. It is hardly too much to assume that the Phoenicians had for some time formed a settlement in these islands, right? They had formed a settlement in these islands. It says there, settlement in these islands, that they must have had a factory here, and is pretty generally concealed. Wow. But a people whose system, this is the way that this nation functions, okay? But a people whose system it was to make colonization the basis of their power. Let me read that again. A people whose system it was to make colonization the basis of their power. We've been told that this is the white man, that the white man does this. And we're seeing now that, no, not only the white man. Now, this is from Free Negro Owners of Slaves. Watch this. Okay? Remember what that lady said, that, they needed to find a particular report on our brothers and sisters, our native brothers, our Hebrew brothers, and I guess the 5 civilized tribes. And she's like, quotation marks, you know what I'm saying? Like saying like they weren't civilized because they owned slaves. Unlike them, they didn't own any slaves. They went through the shadow slavery, and it was really bad. I don't know. I'm reading this. I'm showing you guys, and they're telling us something else. It says, it is hardly believed that a considerable number of Negroes were owners of slaves themselves, right? Let me skip down. You guys can read more. It says, in census records shows that the majority of the Negro owners of slaves were such from the point of view of a philanthropy. Sure. Then it says, benevolent Negroes often purchase slaves to make their lots easier. You're going to find out that there is a narrative behind these particular statements, okay? They're softening you guys up for what I'm about to show you, quite frankly. It's very interesting too. By the way, espionage, manipulation, enchantment, sorcery, the Phoenicians all brought that. The Druids, the Stone Age, all of that is the Phoenicians. All of that is you Canaanites, you Phoenicians, you Canaanites that have the Bible right now in your hands. Okay. Let's see. Maybe some of you guys are our people. I don't know. I don't think a bunch of you guys are. I'll show you. Let's see. Let me go. That's not where I want to go. Well, you guys can see slaves, and some people own slaves. But here's what I want to show you. In the South, where almost all Negro slaveholders were, moreover, we find some of them competing with the large planters in the number of slaves they own. Most of such Negro proprietors lived in Louisiana. It's similar to the other report. Look at it. By 1840, the trend towards degrading the free Negro to a lower status had become evident even in the apparently benevolent slaveholding state. So now we're seeing something within the spirit changing, okay? I'll get you that later. But the point being is, look, you see this here, guys? You so-called black man, you so-called black woman, who is complaining about the white man, who is complaining about the so-called Hispanic, that we enslaved your people, who is complaining about the, quote-unquote, 5 civilized tribes, okay? Who is complaining about the white man. Look at you guys. The Journal of Negro History. That's you guys. And you know who's enslaved? Our native brothers, not your people. Why would you do that? But see, here's the thing. You guys were never in slavery. Yes, I said it. You were never in slavery. The transatlantic slave trade is a big BS pile of poo-poo from the worst pig you can imagine that ate all kinds of rotten food and didn't take a dump for like a month. That's exactly what that is. Look at yourself. Look at it yourself. I'm asking you guys. Any camp, I beg you, please confirm my information. Please tell me that these are not black people. Please tell me that they're white. Please tell me it's a mistake. Do the due diligence work and tell me it's a mistake. Because I don't want to have this understanding if it's, like sickening and tortured. And maybe this is a lie, right? This is a Woodson Carter, free Negro owner, 1830, Washington, Library of the University of Illinois. You guys call those primary resources, I guess. I mean, honestly, I have like 1,000 of these books. I'm not showing off. I'm telling you, I read a lot, guys. I read a lot. And not just the Bible. So I don't know how I do it, honestly, man. But I have a plethora of if you had a city, and I could go in many directions, I could go about 10 different directions and 10 different subjects that all touch on the Bible, whether it's history, theology, or so-called. Anyways, I'm not here, man. That's not what matters, bro. Let me stay in the spirit, bro, because that's not good. Free Negro owners of slaves in the United States in 1830, together with absentee owners of slaves. Let me play this. Remember what these people are saying, and I said these people.
I understand you think you are defending
not with this type of mentality. How can you sit there and say that you suffered and you care about people that suffer, and you're saying that, oh, well, we suffered different? But I'm looking at paper documentation that you guys wrote, and it shows that you guys never even had a glimpse of the suffering that my people went through. And I'll show you that while you guys are enjoying your time here in America, I'm going to show you what was going on in down south. I'm going to show you. But let's remind ourselves, because apparently the so-called black woman and the so-called black man says that the Hispanic man, the Asian man, the Moabite man, the white man, the Samoan man, like basically everybody hates black people because we all enslaved them. They never did anything wrong, ever. They never enslaved anybody. It was always a white man. Okay, let's find out.
Of the black man, or yes, in your case, the black woman. But we are doing a disservice to the argument, much less your people, by conflating race with basic common sense.
I would say this. The disenfranchisement of black people in America is by design written into the actual DNA of this country. Your argument, however flawed, has been successfully promoted and propagated through repetition. We hear it over and over again. But I'm here to tell you that this vicious cycle of inequity will soon be broken.
Okay, very motivating, right? And by the way, you know what's funny about this movie? Well, there's a lot to say about this movie, right? But there's a picture where you see when she's like wakes up in the morning and she's gonna go take a shower. I think after her husband says that. Oh no, before. And there's a on the wall. The camera catches just enough of the portrait for you guys to see it. It is giving you an idea. Everything's symbolized, right? So it is showing you that this so-called person that is playing that role, that she has generational wealth, that she comes from a family, a European, a French family. You can see it by the way the homes are styled, the fencing. America at that time wasn't having that type of architectural designing. And I know this because I do commercial insurance. I insure properties and businesses. Again, I told you guys, I have different routes to go. Okay, so anyway, let me move on. So slaves, you guys can see the book. Okay, so you guys can see it. Primary resource, so called, and somebody tell me that it's not true, because some of these guys that had like 100 of them. I saw one that had seven. Oh, right here. 75. Bruce and Gratz, Lexington. David Samuel had one. And like, remember how they say this woman said, oh, that the 5 civilized tribes took part in the slavery. Like, I thought they were scholars. She said that black woman was a scholar. I don't have any college degree, guys. I don't even know where to start. To be honest, I don't even know how this information falls in my lap. I really don't. I mean, I enjoy reading, but it just falls in my lap. And lately it's been happening that way. Look at this, dude. All of these people are black. All these people are black people. Black, so-called black man, so-called black woman. Right? You see that? Thomas Carter, overseer, 120 total slaves. You Hispanics, you Gadites, you Seminole Indians, and now you guys want to sit around with a 12-type chart that is completely debunked. You're going to break bread with people that have a spirit that are simply going to destroy you. They're not going to try to enslave you right now physically, guys. They're looking to enslave you spiritually. If you don't see it, then I can't help you. I mean, I don't know what more I can show you. I'm going to continue. Let's get some more. I'll show you some more. Watch this. I brought this up the other time, I think. Oh, you know what? Let me close this because these are just like notes. Let me go here. I'll go from this point to here. Boom. So we see that somebody was enslaved, right? And I'm going to show you guys that it wasn't them. Watch this. This is from Jews and Muslims in British Columbia. We don't know we don't know how the Berkeley 100 indentured servants were treated after they were put to work. There's little to go by. Of the 1,200 newcomers in 1619, more than 800 perished. I'll go over it another day, but this is that you see these particular Phoenicians, right? This is how dumb they are. Sorry, I'm going to say it. They came to this area, right? They were the first pilgrims. They came to this area and they expected our people to feed them, to clothe them, to nurture them, to harvest food for them, everything. So obviously our people were like, man, get out of here, dude. You see, this is about thing about Hebrews. The real Hebrews, bro, we work hard. Regardless of what happens to our life, we don't complain. We just keep moving. What Hebrew in the Bible did you hear was complaining? Blaming the nation. There's no Hebrew in the Bible that is completely blaming the nation. What the Bible is saying to us is prophesy against what? Prophesy Isaiah 58. Tell our people their sins, right? Prophesy against the nations. That doesn't mean go out there in the street and then go cuss out the white man. Go cuss out the churches. The hell, man. You guys forget that we're looking for the elect first and then the 1/3? There's no need for that, man. When truth is real, it will always prevail, man. It will always prevail. Look, listen, check this out. That's why, because I'm showing you this. Look, chapter 7, people traded, 1630, 80,000 left England to Chesapeake, New England, and Caribbean. Most of them indentured servants. Why? Because you'll see in the material that I have, if you want me, I can show you, but not right now because I want to get through this. It actually shows that some of them, well, a lot of them were family members, indentured servants, and that they would probably do like a 4-year so-called term agreement. And then after that, they were free to go. So then they would hire an indentured servant, one of their family members, or like a husband or a wife. And then there was a, what's that law called? Something right, start right. It was start right. That's what it was called, start right. That's right. So like, for example, if I get a slave, indentured slave, then I would get an acreage based on that slave. So all these people that you see, by the way, all these people that you see that have slaves, each one of them was a particular acreage size. And the government gave them that. So you guys are sitting here saying that you worked very hard and you were enslaved and all this and that. But just like the white man got his freebies from them, you guys did too. But you know what? What do I know, man? You know what I'm saying? What do I know? I'm just a silly dove. Is what One West calls Northern Kingdom. Silly doves. And you know why they say that? Because you guys believe in every doctrine. That's why, what's his name? Bishop. So I'm not even going to call him Bishop because he's not. Nate, Nathaniel, whatever it is, the cop guy, right? Or ex-detective. He always says, no good Northern Kings. None. That's what he says. So they sit there on the towers and they literally say, like, you guys are nothing to us. We are Judah. What the hell? Who are you to question us? Right? But it says here, because I'm not questioning you, I'm just showing you. By the end of the century, 200,000 people, men, women, and children from the British Isles, listen to this. IUIC, Sakari, GMS, okay? Listen. Nate, listen to this, bro, because you love to say, oh, the so-called white man. Look at this. From British Isles would have been transplanted to British America. Right? Matter of fact, I have one where it actually shows that a lot of them went to the Caribbeans. Yeah. So the ones that you call Levites, those are freaking Canaanites. Like the little short Dukan guy you got. What is his? Labak, whatever. He's a Canaanite. Okay? You can tell in the spirit. You can tell in the spirit. You can tell all across. I'm sorry to tell you guys, man, but look, there's more. Look. Jewish pirates, whatever. You guys can read it. Maryland were Jewish and Moorish descent. So all of the people, if Jewish, Moorish, self-identification or public labeling as such, all of the people that came out of there, because remember, they expelled the so-called the converts, the convert Jew, the fake Jews, the Jewish, and then the Moors, which were basically studying and practicing Muslim, Islam, okay? Or some of them were kind of mixed back and forth. But the Moors really called Moors because they were up there dark. So a lot of them were Arabian and they did practice Islam. It was kind of like a conundrum when it comes to it, but they were black. They were Phoenicians. These Jewish, that's what it says, Maryland were of Jewish, Moorish descent, okay? Watch this. You see this here, immigration. I'll just keep going. You know, like, I mean, honestly, where's the one I'm looking for? It says here, yeah. Let me see if I can find it. Maybe it's this one. Oh, no, I already did. Okay, so basically almost 400,000 people, okay? Almost 400,000 people. So I don't know, what do I know here? Amos 3:1, it says, hear this word that the Lord has spoken against you, O children of Israel, against the whole family which I brought up from the land of Egypt, saying, verse 7, surely the Lord God will do nothing but reveal his secret unto his servants, the prophets. Okay? So if I'm not a servant of God, he's not going to reveal absolutely nothing to me. So we're going to find out today if I am a servant of God or not. Because I don't have 7 heads or 14 arms and 14 feet and a plethora of officers and captains. I do your research and do all these things. Everything that you see on my videos, I've done. Everything. everything. I don't have no help. I don't need no help. I mean, let me rephrase it. I have the help of the Most High. So I don't need no help from another man if no man wants to help me. I'm more than willing to get help because this is tiring. And I don't mean tiring, like it's, there's a lot involved in what goes on. It's not just about putting scriptures together, which I know you guys think because my scriptures suck. Yeah, I guess there's somebody tell me, oh, you guys should sell the precepts because apparently they're ironclad, whatever. 2 Thessalonians 2:3 it says, "Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition." You see, we're being told that this happened with the white man when he came, right? That was 500 years ago. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first. So which day is not going to come? I mean, we've been in slavery for more than 500 years. And that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. And it says it, who opposed and exalted himself above all that is called God, right? That is worshipped, so that he, as God, sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. Remember ye not that when I was yet with you, I told you these things, right? This is Paul telling us. He already told us that this was going to happen again and again and again and again, past, present, future. And now ye know what withholdeth, that he might be revealed in this time, in his time. You know why? Because the so-called white man came, supposedly, right? The image of the white man. Okay, supposedly. It's been 500 years. And now all of a sudden, we get an image of a black man. We used to criticize the Christians because they had images. The one was criticized the Christians because they have images, but y'all have images. You guys have the so-called Star of David, and that shit is not the Star of David. If you just knew where that came from. Okay. All right. Let me continue. Remember ye not that, let's see. Now ye know what withholdeth, that he might be revealed in his time. For the mysteries of iniquity do already work. Only he who now letteth will let until he be taken out of, his way. And that's a warning for you guys. Okay? And they look, I'll say this. If the truth was in these rooms, and I would not be sharing this. This is not about envy, like, oh, I want a big congregation. Look at me. No, that's, again, if it was the truth, I wouldn't bother. But you know why I'm sharing this? Because oppression makes a wise man mad. Okay? And you guys lied to us. You honestly lied. You've never been in slavery. The transatlantic slave trade was a lie. The black man and the white man were the ones that enslaved us. And I'm going to prove it to you. I'm going to keep proving it. And I'm going to show you guys that the King James Bible is from a black man, but that guy's a Phoenician. And I'm going to prove it to you. I'm going to prove to you what Tarshish is. I'm going to prove to you Ezekiel 28, what it actually means. Okay? And then I'm gonna give you a little prophecy in case you guys think I'm full of it, because I'm not Judah, so maybe I'm just making the stuff up. I'll give you a little prophecy about who was gonna come and the spiritual traits of this nation, which another nation dealt with thousands of years ago. Thousands of years ago. I'm not kidding. Okay. And then after that, let's see what else we got. Oh, wow. I think that's pretty much, yeah. Okay, so let me continue. All right, so where we at? Okay, so we are in. Let me go back. Okay. All right. So anyway. So I'm just telling you guys what's going on, right? So it says here, and then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. And honestly, brothers, I'm afraid. I am afraid because something's happening. Something huge is happening. And brothers need to start.
The Europeans called it
brothers need to start repenting, bro. Because I'm gonna share this with you guys because I noticed it. And again, I don't want to be quote unquote the one to share this. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to. But right when it was announced, all of this stuff started happening to me. Well, not right away, because I wasn't involved with any of them at all. But in the last month or so, I started paying attention to stuff like, and I was like, whoa! And then next, you know, all of this stuff started happening. All right, so let me continue, man. It's okay. So cool, we got it. All right, so this is another angle, guys. I'm telling you, man. Like we are getting bombarded from left, right, up, and down. Aboriginals, national TV, the so-called black man, black Hebrew Israelites. Okay, and then who else? The so-called Fopies. I mean, seriously, man. I don't know what the hell is going on, but you Hispanics are getting extremely attacked, and they're trying to take your heritage in every way possible. So I wonder why. I mean, it's like this, bro. I remember that we used to be called wetbags, spigs, beaners. I don't know what else, and you guys were disgusted by us. And all of a sudden now, you have this agenda that says, "Oh no, 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 no! You guys treated us like shit." Yeah, that's why nobody ever wants to be like a so-called Mexican. That's the bottom of the barrel when it comes to the so-called Latinos, bro. I know you guys think that it's not true, but whether you're so-called Puerto Rican or Cuban or Peruvian or Salvadoreño or Brazilian or white or black, every single one of y'all has had that type of attitude towards the so-called Mexican. Why am I gonna lie? I'm not gonna lie. You know it's true. Just keep it real, man. Repent. That's it. Acknowledge it and repent. This guy's name is Lee Cummings, right? So I'm gonna tell you a story about that at the end because I'm gonna show you something. I'm gonna reveal something. I'm thankful that they did what they did. And honestly, One West is literally shooting themselves. I mean, excuse me, let me rephrase it. One West is literally tripping themselves over them. They're literally tripping over themselves of their own information. Because I'm not doing anything but just showing you what they use and then just giving you a little bit more what they didn't use for whatever reason they decided not to use it.
For creating the Negro Question book series was I saw that the history books were full of lies. And still, to take back the untampered artifacts, any ancient or medieval, I found, case in point, I found a map that was created in 1751 by Emmanuel Bowen. Emmanuel Bowen was the royal cartographer for two kings, King George and King Louis. He goes into West Africa, and he came.
So remember the scriptures, okay, guys? Not many wise, not many mighty. Okay? Remember that. Not many wise, not many mighty. Okay? But this guy's I don't know if he's a professor or what. He wrote a book. I got a little bit more. I won't touch on it just yet. And then this way. Check this out. Check this guy out.
Black Europeans were sent to Barbados.
Look at this guy. Let's see if it's here.
If the open road is an open invitation, then get up and go. Go windows down.
Period. All right? This is the chief value. All right? Pay attention because we're about to read.
Introducing the all-electric Chevy Equinox EV.
I have no idea why that is. Commercial after commercial all of a sudden.
With an estimated 300-mile range on a
50 years old. All right?
All right, check this out, okay? Watch. I'm going to show you guys.
He's very what? Very black. All right? The next person here is Daniel, Earl of Nottingham, Secretary of State. It says that he has also the exterior air of business and application enough to make him very capable, and his habit and manners very formal. A tall, thin, very black man. He's a very black man, like a Spaniard or a Jew. About 50 years old, like a Spaniard more, or like a Jew, like a Moor. He was a very black man. A very black. Very.
All right, that is really weird, man. Anyways, I'm putting this guy on Front Street because I'm gonna show y'all. There's an agenda. See this guy right here? He, if anything, he looks like a damn Mongol. You don't look like our people. And I don't know what it is that you're pushing this whole concept of like black people, they were here in America. Well, I know why. So let's expose the guy. And by the way, I'm going to say this with you. I don't know who you are, but what the hell is with your accent, man? Because I know you weren't born in South America or in Mexico or Central. You were born here in the States. I can tell. But your English is so horrible that I wonder how bad your Spanish is. Listen, bro, it's very easy. In his habit and manners, very, very formal, a tall, thin, very black man, yet a Spaniard or Jew, about 50 years old. Can you please pronounce it properly, man? Just at least do yourself a favor. Now I'm making fun of you because I'm going to destroy your guys' doctrine today.
Very black expression, right?
To these books by Lee
Remember this, right? See, that Lee Cummins, that's the guy that we looked at.
Cummins. A lot of you've seen his books, you know, The Negro Question, and there's like about 6, 7, 8 parts. The world history that is being taught in the classrooms omit the existence of the Black Scots, Black Irish, Black Brits, Black Italians, Black French, or Black Europeans that were sold directly into the American slave plantations. Again, what had I been saying? Who was really coming in over here in ships by the thousands and thousands and thousands? That was Europeans, both black and pale-skinned Europeans.
You see how he is tricking you guys? He's agreeing that that's the case, but then watch what he says. And he excludes particular. I was waiting for him to show what I'm going to show, but they didn't. Whoever this guy is. Yeah, I'll talk about it later. Let me just show you real quick.
Not just black, all right?
I just want to give you guys a taste. Okay, so I'm going to touch on that in a little bit. Let me just continue because I don't want to lose track of my process here. I made sure that I took care of it properly. Okay, so that's what we got, and then we got that guy, right? So we got that. Okay, cool. So now let's see if I am incorrect. Let's see if I'm full of it. If I don't know the Bible, or if I'm a demon. Okay, let's find out. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys why and how come all of these things are happening. See, nobody's explaining to us why. What is the attack? What's the purpose by the attack? Is it really people lost and they want to be like, is it really people lost? It's like sincerely lost and they want to go back to the roots. Because you know what? I can understand that. I could completely understand that. I went through that experience. But it doesn't seem like that's the case. Ezekiel 27:12. Let's find out who Tarshish is because nobody here in One West Camp actually says that. Like I said, Sakari came close, but then apparently they just stopped. Ezekiel 27:12, it says, Tarshish was thy merchant by reason of multitudes. Let me see that again. Tarshish was thy merchant by reason of the multitude of all kinds of riches. Why? Because they were mining for silver, for iron, for lead, for tin, and they were trading. So these are merchants, okay? You know what that is, right? They are merchants. So now, let's find out if it's true. If the Phoenicians, if you guys, the so-called Hebrews, let's see if they were up there. This is from the History of England. Here, I'll go back. I don't know if you call it, this is an old book, right? It looks old. Looks pretty old. See, that's a crest right there. And that's what I'm sure they know. So I'm not going to say they're Masons because again, I'm not going to play that game, but it just sure as hell, it seems to me somebody's playing games with y'all. I'm not lying. It really seems like somebody's playing games. All right, so watch this. I'm going to go ahead and open it again. Watch what it says. Okay. Where's Tarshish? The Bible identifies Tarshish as a location where they're mining for silver and specifically identifying tin. This is on that book. In page, I don't know. You guys look for it. It says, as well situated for trade as the Britons were, and they were black, we don't find they had any large vessels or ventured to the sea beyond the coast of Gaul, which is true. They never really went. You guys say they did, but they never really did. They're admitting it right here. Okay? It says here, who, after the discovery of the islands, meaning like Britain, Scott, Ireland, exported every year great quantities of tin, in which they drove a very gainful trade with distant nations. This commerce being carried off into the future parts of Cornwall, only foreign merchants had no opportunity to know exactly the state of Ireland. I believe that's what they're trying to say. For which reason we are ignorant at this day. You see that? They don't even know where this Tarshish location is. See, they're saying that, right? Well, many peculiar concerning religion, government, Britons, that probably would have been transmitted down to us if other nations had the information. And you can tell they're acting like, well, that they went into these particular coasts and then dug for mines, and that there's another one where it says like they were actually mining and nobody could find it, right? This is from Metal Mining Industry. You can see that here, right? This is, a so-called primary source. It talks about the actual metals, elements, and all these things, right? Look what it says here. It says metal mining in the United States, in the United Kingdom, dates back thousands of years, with copper the first metal to be mined in Britain. The Phoenicians were there. The Phoenicians were there all up until 1600. Okay? Then it says here, the largest known bronze or copper mine in the world, the Great Ore Site, discovered in Wales, 1887, 4,000 years. Copper. So there's elements in Britain. There's elements. And the Phoenicians knew that, okay? The Phoenicians knew that there were elements there. Later, lead, copper attracted Romans to Britain. Romans introduced iron tools and used local slaves. You see it goes right here, for which they refined lead, tin. Let me read that again. Ezekiel 27:12. Tarshish was thy merchant by reason of multitudes of all kinds of riches, silver and iron and tin and lead. We're seeing here, look, lead, tin, silver, right? Again, lead, tin, silver. What else? Metals, right? Roman Empire. It says Britain. Let's go some more. Carthaginians. These are the Phoenicians, right? Afro, whatever. This is just basic information. We're an empire in North Africa. Let's see, founded by Phoenician Tyre. Okay, just showing that Phoenicians. Okay, you guys can continue to look it up. I'm going fast because I want to just get to this and then move on from this, man. I'm honestly, you guys aren't going to believe me anyway, so it doesn't matter. Let the Most High decide. He's the one that basically, I can do my best, and then he feeds you guys the water at that point. Carthaginian supremacy. You can see that Tyre has been basically ruling all of that area for some time. Let's see here. 10. Let's see. Boom. Get away, man. There goes right there. There goes 10. Let's see. The Phoenicians in Western Mediterranean, which tin, silver, gold, iron. Same thing over and over again. Okay. Now I'm going to show you guys the Punic. When it came to the Punic War. Let's see. Punic. Nope. Hold on. Wrong one. Look at this map, guys. See? This map is British and Irish place name considered to be of potentially Phoenician Punic origin. So here's where they were mining. So see, Tarshish is here. So who came out of Tarshish? Who came out of Tarshish? You so-called Canaanites. Yeah, you guys that are using our Bible and saying that you are the real Hebrews. I'm going to prove today that you're not. With your own book. With your preferred book. Because you say that you are not an African. You say that you're against Masonry. You say that you're against all the what do you call it? Spiritual darkness of this world, right? You say you're against it. Okay. So now let's touch on Ezekiel 28, because apparently this is the Esau, this is the white man. Let's read it. The word of the Lord came again unto me, saying, Son of man, say unto the prince of Tyre, thus saith Lord God, because thine heart is lifted up, and thou hast said, I am a God. I sit in the seat of God, in the midst of the seas. Yet thou art a man and not God. Thou set thine heart as the heart of God. Okay, so now we're seeing that this particular individual, right? He seats himself as what? It says, Son of Man, Prince of Tyre, because thine heart is lifted up, and thou hast said, I am a God. What else? He says, I'm a God. I sit in the seat of God in the midst of in the seas. So we're talking about in an island. These guys are coming from a certain area. Yet thou art a man. That's the Most High. Let them know that nah, you're not. You're not. Let me show you guys something real quick. Where are you at? See that? Thou hast said, I am God. I sit in the seat of God. Is that not the same thing? And you know, which is the trippy part? One West campers, they love to show these pictures. They love to show them. And you know, by the way, one of the traits about the Phoenicians is exactly this. They were brown skin with blue-gray eyes. I have documentation. But again, I wasn't going to touch on that. Look, you sit on the seat of God. You think you're God, right? I mean, is that not trying to be like God? Because first of all, I know that you guys think these are Hebrews. They're not. And you guys either have an agenda or you sincerely don't know what's going on. Because look, what is the difference between that image and this image? Seriously, what's the difference? They both have a eugenics supremacy ideology. I'm better than I'm the head tribe. It's I mean, I don't know what to tell you, dude. You know what I'm saying? This is, I mean, you guys are very proud of it. You show it. So it says here, Son of Man, say unto the Prince of Tyre. So we know that this guy is in those particular areas, okay? Thus say the Lord God. And by the way, don't say that it's Esau, because Esau is actually mentioned in chapter 26, I believe. They're mentioning Ammon and Moab, and then they identify Edom. This is specifically talking about Tyre. Now, Edom's going to get it. They are the last kingdom. But you see how it's going to come? It's going to come, first of all, the people that enslaved our people were not the so-called Edomites. You guys set it all up. They took over after. So, yes, the world will end with, Jacob will take over after Esau, but who is really involved in this sorcery is you Phoenicians, is you Canaanites. Yeah, you guys are. Ezekiel 28:4, okay? Let me read it. Ezekiel 28:4, and it reads, thy wisdom and with thy wisdom and with thy understanding thou hast gotten thee riches, and hast gotten gold and silver in thy treasures. So we know that this is what they mine for, right? But thy great wisdom and by thy traffic hast thou increased thy riches, and thine heart is lifted up because of thine riches. Okay? Now we know that a lot of so-called Jews, the converts, that they came out of where? That they were expelled, right? That they were expelled, and they came out of France or Spain. Okay? They were expelled. Okay? So watch. I'm going to read that again. Watch. I'm going to read it again. With thy wisdom and with thy understanding, thou hast gotten thee riches and hast gotten gold and silver into thy treasures. Wisdom and understanding, we're talking about like the science behind it, the mathematics behind it. I mean, Phoenicians were very advanced with those particular subjects, okay? So it's saying thy wisdom and with thy understanding, thou hast become rich. Why? Because they were able to find these elements. Matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, they were the ones that are actually selling the purple dye. They would actually dive to go get purple out of pearls. So that's why they were in charge of it. You know what I'm saying? It says, by thy traffic, by thy great wisdom and by thy traffic, hast thou increased thy riches, and thine heart is lifted up. Now, in regards to traffic, this is how you identify this guy. Remember, they said that there was what do you call it? It was the Jews and all that, right? So this is from what book is this called? What is it? Let me see. Let me remember. I'll remember. I'll put it in the notes. Okay, watch what it says. This is on page 76. It reads, the real slavers, the individuals who truly benefited from trafficking humans, operated on a much larger scale. They planted their expeditions. Yeah, and that's how you guys also, benefited from, increased riches. You guys were enslaving people, and I'm going to show it to you, okay? Let's see, they planned their expeditions carefully, procured investors and funds for weapons, provisions, hired agents to sell slaves in mines and other enterprises. You know who was very experienced in this particular field and expert in this field? You Phoenicians. You showed the white man how to do it, basically, because because it says mines and other enterprises, and because Indian slavery was illegal, made sure to exploit loopholes. Right? Watch this. You guys can read it. Who is that guy? Born in a Jewish family in 1537. So who was expelled? The Jews, the so-called Jews, right? Blacks. That's who was expelled. And we saw now that you guys didn't get thrown into Africa. So get rid of Deuteronomy 28. You're going to have to come up with another doctrine. Deuteronomy 28 is done. Okay? Let me go to verse 26. So now we're seeing in regards to, it's identifying the particular person. It's identifying a spiritual characteristic of this nation of people. Okay? Therefore, because the only way you understand Scripture is with history and Scripture. You cannot ignore them. Therefore, thus say the Lord God, because thou hast set thine heart as the heart of God. Now, some people are like, well, you see, brother, you don't know what you're talking about. Okay, all right. And it says here, therefore, thus say the Lord God, because thou hast set thine heart as the heart of God, right? Thou hast set thy heart as the heart of God. Listen to that. Therefore, thus saith the Lord, because thou hast set thine heart as the heart of God. These are not Israelites. The heart of God, you know who that is? That's our people. The heart of God, right? I know you guys think that I'm silly, like, no, these aren't my precepts and my, what are the deacons and elders? No, those are not my precepts. So, he's full of it. Okay, fine. They're not your precepts. Neither are they mine. They're not yours, they're not mine. They're the Most High's. Are you guys forgetting that? Okay, so watch this. It said it. It says here, therefore thus say the Lord God, because thou hast set thine heart as the heart of God. Here, let me do this. I'm going to show you guys something. Okay? Oh, great. Let me open it up. I'm going to read this. This is how we understand this. Okay? But again, if you guys think it's not a precept to this, and I don't know. Let me read this. Therefore, thus say the Lord God, because thou hast set thine heart as the heart of God. Okay? Hebrews 12:1. I'm going to read it to you. Wherefore, seeing we also are encompassed about with such a great cloud of witnesses, let us lay aside every weight. Now, remember, keep in mind, okay? Keep this in mind. The cloud of every witnesses. Acts 17:28. I'm showing you this because I want to show you this. Acts 17:28. For in him we live and move and have our beings, as certain also of your own poets have said, for we are also his offspring. Wherefore, seeing we also are encompassed about with such a great crowd. So that's the Hawashai here. We are basically with him. So you guys are trying to be like us. This is when you say you sit at the seat of God. Verse 2, right? It says here, you said, because thine has lifted up, because thy heart is lifted up, and thou hast said, I am a God. I sit in the seat of God, in the midst of the seas. The great cloud right here. This is when they exclaim themselves to be what? Hebrews. Let's get some more. Okay? Let me read Acts 17:29. Hold on, let me get it for you guys now. No, they don't have that picture up there anymore. Acts 17:29. Let's see. Okay, I'm almost done. Acts 17:29, and it reads, okay? It reads, for as much then as we are the offspring of God, we ought not to think that Godhead is like unto gold or silver or stone, graven by art or man's devices, So you see how he's saying, for we live in him and move in him, right? Within that cloud, right? So what is he saying right now? He's basically saying, yo, listen, yeah, you are part of me, but don't get it don't get it twisted, don't mistake it. Don't go around making, images or putting pictures about yourself. Yeah, we God, bro. Yeah, you see, he's a black man, and his son's a black man, and he's gonna crack the. No, you're getting it all wrong. But see, that's unfortunately that's Canaanite doctrine. Let me verse 7. Let me go back because we're not done with Ezekiel. That's right, we're not done with Ezekiel. Let me go back. Ezekiel, where are you? Ezekiel, boom. Let me go back to Ezekiel 28. Verse 7, and it says, behold, therefore I will bring strangers upon thee, the terrible of the nations, and they shall draw their swords against the beauty of thy wisdom, and they shall defile thy brightness. This happened after the Civil War. Here's why. Here's how. I'm going to show you. Yeah? Because it says the terrible of the nations, right? All right, watch this. This is from... did I close it? No. Okay, let me see if I can find it. Hold on. Give me a second, okay? Let me look for it real quick. Give me a second, hold on. Oh, no, that's not it. No, it's not it. Hold on, my bad. Oh, come on, hurry up, bro. Hurry up. Here it goes. All right. So I found this book, okay, and I ordered it, and it should be here soon. I was gonna wait for it to come and then do the class, but quite frankly, there's too much involved. There's too much going on, and I think it's time that we expose this. All right. So let me get this here. Am I looking for? Hold on. Let me see. Let's see here. Okay. This is from a book called Golden Age of More. Okay. This guy is Ivan Sertima. He's a so-called black man or African man because he's not black. He's light skinned. Okay. Or brown. So in page 336, watch what it says. Is it 336? Okay, yeah. Watch this. I think it's here. Let's see, what are you? I had this. Let's see, what is it? Low opinion. Low opinion. Let's see, hold on. Where are you? Oh, give me a second, guys. I'm sorry. I thought I had that page, and apparently it's not here now. But again, what can I tell you? The devil. The devil made me do it. Let's see. I think it could be here. Nope, that's not it. Oh, here it goes. Check this out, okay? So let me read this. Behold, therefore I will bring strangers. Right? Hold on. Let me see. Hold on. It's on the bottom. Okay? Watch this. It says, behold, therefore I will bring strangers, right? Strangers, okay? Upon thee, the terrible of the nations, and they shall draw their swords against the beauty of thy wisdom, and they shall defile thy brightness. Here's the opinion of the Phoenicians towards a white man. There are near animals than men. Here, I'll read. See? It says here, other writers were not of the opinion of the conquest of Spain, a disaster. It says whites in those Iberian countries were not viewed in favorable light. So you so-called black man, you so-called black woman, you guys were talking down to this man like you were treating him like shit. So check it. There are near animals than men. You guys basically do it to this day. You know how I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you how. Before I start reading it. Let me see. Because it kind of blew my mind because I'm like, hey, you know what? That's weird. I remember seeing that video. I literally remember seeing it, and I'm like, oh wow, that's crazy. So with this attitude towards this man, right? And again, I'm not defending him. I'm just keeping it real, man. I'm just being neutral with everybody. Okay, neutral with everyone. So apparently, this in regards to like, how can I say this? Where are you at? Okay, so we got this a low opinion, right? Near men. They're by nature unthinking. Their manner is crude. Their bellies protrude. Their color is white. Their hair is long. His sharpness and delicacy of spirit and an intellectual perspicacity. There are nil. Ignorance, lack of reasoning, power, and boorish are common among them. The Moors had particular low opinion of these whites. They had beaten them often on battlefields and with inferior numbers. So, the white man did not reproduce. Even the Europeans and other countries of this continent were looked upon with disdain for their low intelligence and base ways. Remember, it says here, I will bring the terrible of the nations, and they shall draw their swords against the beauty of thy wisdom. So compared to you, they're the terrible of the nations that you call them. Right? It says here, modern European history, the Moorish writer, the crusade, blah, blah, blah. You guys can see it. The palace the palace of the then ruler of Germany, France, and England were, when compared with those of the Moorish rulers of Spain and Portugal, scarcely better than the stable of the Moors. The education of the Moors was at such a high level that their scholars at Toledo, Cordova, and Seville were producing treatises on spherical trigonometry. And so, here's the thing, but if the Deuteronomy 28 applied to you guys, supposedly in 1611, I don't understand how Kunta Kinte could have even kept you guys around, man. Like you're like literally doing trigonometry. You don't think you would have had the capacity to outsmart Kunta Kinte? No, but you're saying that blacks enslaved you and sold you, and then to the white man. Here is basically telling you what's going on between you two. You see, I'm gonna tell you guys something. The things that go on in this world, the Bible talks about, us, but the stuff that goes on between wars, it's in the Bible too, and it doesn't necessarily is directed with us, but it's for us to see. It's for us to pay attention. Look, watch. This is. I first when I read this, I thought, man, this is white people talking about black. Nah, bro, it's the other way around. This is a black folks talking about white folks. Look at how similar the conversation is. It says, description of human existence in the French countryside gives an summary of what historians for the past several decades have been uncovering in their research on the rustic communities in Europe and at large during the entire late medieval to early modern epoch. Sullen animals, males and females, are scattered over the country, dark, livid, scorched by the sun, attached to the earth. They dig up and turn over with invincible persistence. They have a kind of articulate speech, and when they rise to feet, they show a human face. And indeed, they are men. At night, they retire to their dens where they live on black bread and water and roots. You know what? It sounds a lot like what the so-called white man has been doing to the so-called black and white. I'm sorry, the black woman and a black man. The so-called, because I believe there are a good portion of you guys are Phoenicians, and we're showing that today. The documentation doesn't lie. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't lie. You can't go back. You can't go against truth. You guys didn't enslave. You guys weren't enslaved. You guys took slaves. Look, I'm gonna show you. 700. This is on page 4. 700 years during which the wars dominated the Iberian Peninsula was an era in which many Europeans came into North Africa states as servitude. The Muslims brought millions of European slaves over to the North African port of Sale, Tangier, Algiers, Tunis. These are white people, by the way, okay? One very famous sultan in Morocco had as many as 25,000 European slaves who participated in the building of colossal stables. Sudanese were also taken into slavery, but before the 15th century was not as many as the whites. You see that? Not as many as whites. So you guys enslaved the so-called white man a lot. And you treated him bad because the guys, they don't multiply. So you guys were like, outnumbering them. Okay? So when it says, therefore I will bring the stranger upon thee, the trouble of the nations, and they shall draw their swords against thee, right? That happened after the Civil War. That's why a lot of the laws, and I'll go over that in another class, that they're literally manifesting in the way that they done. They use eugenics against the so-called black man. Obviously, we're part of that shit. But you want to know something? The anger is towards them. Yes, we're like, collateral damage if you really think about it. But again, that war is between them too. It's not with Israel. So what I'm noticing is that these guys, these Canaanites, want Israel to believe that it's a war with us and them, and it's not. It's between them. We need to stay outside of that. Let them fight it out, because they're gonna do it. You brothers and sisters need to learn how to keep the commandments of God and stay out of that crap. And stop having babies with these guys, honestly, man, because they're not. Maybe some of them are. I'm not gonna lie, but a good portion are not. Okay. Here we're gonna keep going. We're gonna keep going. Okay. So far, I think, unless you guys say that my precepts suck, maybe they do. Watch this. I'm gonna finish it like this. They shall bring thee down to the pit. You mean the bottom, to the very bottom, to the lowest state. That's why you see a lot of them incarcerated, abortion, getting shot, overdosing. You see Philadelphia is just white and black people, right? It says here, they shall bring thee down to the pit. You mean them. They'll pass laws that are going to destroy you guys, right? And they shall, and thou shalt die the death of them that are slain in the midst of the sea. So see, I think Brother Vega was trying to give a breakdown on this, right? And he wasn't incorrect that it's Tyree, but see, the thing is, this isn't Tyree being thrown in ships, because the transatlantic slave trade never happened. Okay, all right. So let me go ahead and take this off. Let me take this off. I don't want it to pile up. Give me a second. Okay, give me a second here, real quick. I want to show y'all something. So now we're seeing that some of these people, that they're lying in some way. Slavery never happened to them, but for some reason they want to play the victim role. Again, there is something going on, guys. You guys need to be very mindful. But remember this, and then I'm going to read you something, and then you tell me.
Kacariwaiku! Bukan tak suka existian! Lawas ni tari mana saya? Aku je! Mana aku lawas ni tari huji kumanjua? Aku! Aku yung kaibigan.
And you know what, guys? That's real. I have a book, and I got lucky. I bought it when it wasn't expensive. I've seen it go $1,000, $4,000. This is called The Dogs of Conquest. That's exactly what they would do. A lot of our people were slaughtered by these animals, and they were actually fed to them. They would grab our children because obviously they're tender bones, right? They would prefer eating them. They had like meat shop, carnicerias, arms hanging there, everything. This stuff is real, guys. The first dogging of Indians on the islands of Jamaica on May 5th, 1494, would have been similar to the pictures here through probably took place in Puerto Rico, as you can see everywhere. I see that lady, man, and I think of my family. It pains me to see it, to be honest. I cannot, not one time have I been able to finish it without, you know, dealing with certain things. Okay? So now, I'm going to share something with you guys. Because they said that we were taught that we need to identify our enemies, right? The Bible will say it'll identify our enemies, right? So let's identify our enemy. The so-called black man has told us for so many years that the eagle, the eagle, the eagle. You see, brother, the eagle, man, that's Esau. Is it? What's this? What's that? What's that? What's that? You think we're stupid? You've been caught. I'm exposing you guys because I have a little bit more, and then that's it. And then I'm gonna call it a day, and I'm gonna get some rest. I practically begged the Most High to let me sleep. I haven't slept for days. Nobody's sharing this stuff with me, guys. I'm only sharing what I see, and if I'm wrong, and I'm misleading you guys, I pray that God destroys me. I really do, because that's not what I want. Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 49. Keep in mind here. All right? It says, the Lord shall bring a nation against you from far. Did they not come from Europe? Have we not seen that they conquered Ireland and Scots? Have I not showed you guys classes that these guys are European? They've been in Europe for years. It says an eagle, an eagle, an eagle. He says you'll identify by the eagle. Look at this. This is kingship. I'm going to tell you something. You see the hats, how they tilted to the side? That's not by coincidence. And Hebrews do not ever dress this way. Matter of fact, you know what? We never put kings, like an actual, like what we call it? A crown. So you dummies that are like in these Passovers and tabernacles, and you're wearing crowns. You guys are literally you're using heathenish clothing. The Lord shall bring a nation against you from far, from the end of the earth. Didn't they come from Europe? We didn't know who they were. As swift as the eagle flieth, whose tongue thou shalt not understand. We didn't know Spanish. They knew Portuguese, they knew French, they knew Dutch. They knew every single language in Europe. So even if you wanted to use Deuteronomy 28 with 16:11, it doesn't make any sense because it says a language that your fathers, neither you or your fathers have known. Women wouldn't stuff. Like you can't select scriptures and say, oh, this happened to this tribe and then that happened to that tribe. No, it happened to all Israel. And it says, verse 50, a nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of old, nor show favor to the young. Did we not see our sister get destroyed, absolutely slaughtered? You guys don't have prophecies. Now, I don't know if these are. I don't know. The Most High is going to decide if I'm a demon or if you guys were demons. But I'm going to tell you something. The moment I heard that they were supposedly calling Nate Elijah, right? What's that video? Let me see. Let me see if I got it. I think I do have it. I do have it. Hold on. Watch this. Again, hey man, you know what? You're not our people, so if they want to crown you as a king, by all means, man, do it. Enjoy it. Thrive on it. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody's stopping you guys. But when you're saying that you're the Hebrew of the Bible, and you're using a Bible and you're twisting scriptures, you're completely wrong, right? I mean, what do you want me to tell you? Look, when I saw this, like I found out later.
Chapter 4, 5, and 6. The book of Malachi, chapter 4, verse 5.
I heard it. I'm like, okay, it just kind of seemed weird. Okay, I was like, all right, well, again, I don't care about these stuff because I just want to keep the commandments, man, honestly. So, these things I don't get into.
Behold, I will send you Elijah the prophet before the coming of the great and dreadful day of the Lord.
So Motai said he was going to send Elijah the prophet, which was a very powerful prophet if you know anything about these scriptures, before the coming of the great and dreadful day of the Lord, which is when Christ returns. Read.
And he shall turn the heart of the fathers to the children, and the heart of the children to their fathers.
So whoever this great prophet is going to turn us back to our fathers, which is the Bible, and the fathers back unto us or
That's
teach
right.
us.
That's
so
right.
I think, and we all know, about regeneration, that this could definitely be speaking about the bishop. That is the smartest man on earth, probably the most hated and the most loved.
Right.
That's it.
Okay. You said your fathers. So who is our fathers? Where's Abraham from? It says the Urs of the Chaldees. He left his ancestors because they were serving other gods and they wanted to serve the God they knew. So there's a gap between Noah, Shem, Abraham. What happened? Where's Abraham from? If you're saying that this man is going to turn us into our fathers, right? So I was not thinking of anything of that. But then I saw this, man, and this was eerie, scary. And then after this, I saw that. I guess this came out like 5-7 months ago, right? But after I saw this, man, like something came over me. I don't know what the hell happened. And then I got two more things to show you guys, and see if I'm lying. I think, from my understanding, again, I don't know. I think the Most High is like, you know what? That's it. You actually exclaimed a name that does not belong to you. What I'm sharing with y'all, let's see if One West can destroy it. I hope so. I really hope so. I hope that I'm wrong. I really hope I'm wrong. I don't want to hurt. Do you see how many people are there? You know how many families, husbands, wives, children are involved in these things? You know how long it took for some of them that are sincere, that are true Hebrews, for them to change? You don't think I think about that?
And it starts again. I wanna hear, well done, welcome, well done, well done, well done. I look to the hills where my help from. I just wanna hear, welcome, well done. I just wanna hear.
that scared me. And then after that, I think about a month after, man, all these things started happening to me.
No raza in none of those videos.
I ain't claiming to be anybody, man. I shouldn't even have the privilege of holding this Bible, to be honest with you. I'm 100% humbled by it. Let's put it that way. Let's go to Habakkuk 1:8. I'm going to read this to you guys, okay? Remember what I said, that a nation will always manifest its characteristics. Remember, past, present, future. They will always act who they are, okay? They will always be who they are. They will always be who they are. So I'm going to read this to you, and then I'm going to show you something, okay? So, again, we know now that the Phoenicians were in Tarshish, and we know that Tarshish is in Europe. Now, we know now that their kingship was done because they became or acted like gods. Now they're like, we're Israelites. Until this very day, they're trying to do that, right? And we also see that, Ezekiel 28 is talking about the actual situation after the Civil War, which they're basically being drawn to the pits. You see, our people died horribly, so now they're paying for it. Because you see, it's horrible death, man. It's horrible. I don't want to see people die. All right? Habakkuk 1:8. Their horses are swifter than the leopards. Okay? Remember, I'm expressing something here. This is a trait, a characteristic of a nation of people that has for years been this way. And another nation of people experienced the same thing, and they said the same thing. So here we see that Habakkuk was prophesying about a nation that was going to be this way, that would do this to somebody, and that nation would actually repeat it, and we see it again because we saw it with us. Habakkuk 1:8, it says, their horses are swifter than their leopards, and are more fiercer than the evening wolves. And their horsemen shall spread themselves, and their horsemen shall come from far, and they shall fly as the eagle has, what? Hasted to eat. Did we not see these pictures? So now I'm going to read you something, okay? Watch. I'm going to read it, and then I'm going to show you. I'm going to read it to you, and then I'm going to show you. And, hold your seats. Because this is, when I saw it, I was like, what the hell? I got scared. Honestly, I got super scared because I'm like, what am I sitting on? This isn't. Anyways, so let me show you guys this quick. Okay. Hold on real quick. Let me get this rid of this one. Okay, there you go. It's from the same book called Golden Age. Okay. You guys can get it on our archive.org. But I got a really good deal on it. You know what I'm saying? So anyhow, let me show you guys this. Just go to page 330. Okay. And I'm going to do something. I'm going to read it first. Okay. And then I'm going to show you guys. So I'm going to read Habakkuk one more time. It says, their horses are swifter. Hold on. Let me see. It says, their horses are swifter than the leopards, and are more fierce than the evening wolves, and their horsemen shall spread themselves. Let me repeat it again. Their horses also are swift. Their horses also are swifter than the leopards, and are more fierce than the evening wolves. Okay, remember that. Remember that. Remember that. Somebody experienced this before. A particular nation of people went through this with them, and they said the same thing. Watch. Come on, man. There he goes. All right, okay. Let me put it here on the screen. Wait, what it says? It says, okay, ready? It says, their horses also are swifter than the leopards, and are more fierce than the evening wolves, right? And it says there, and their horsemen shall spread themselves, and the last part is, and they shall fly as the eagle that hasteth to eat, okay? So this guy, this nation of people, will have an eagle, okay? And will have this characteristic. Watch this. This is a trip. I'm going to read it, and I'm going to show you. It says, from a particular people, it says, the color of a conquering soldier was described vividly by a European scholar who sympathized with the Christian Spain. It says, the reins of their horses were as fire, their faces black as pitch, their eyes shone like the burning candles. Their horses were swift as the leopards, and the riders fiercer than a wolf in the sheepfold at night. The noble gods were broken in an hour, quicker than tongue can tell. Oh, luckless Spain. Let me read that again, okay? I'm going to read it to this part. Their horses were swift as the leopard, and their riders fiercer than a wolf in the sheepfolds at night. Let me read this over here. It reads, their horses also swifter than the leopards and are more fierce than the evening wolves. So you guys don't think I'm lying. It's right here. Page 336 from the same book, Golden Age. Look at it. It says it. You talk about that. Okay, so my precepts suck. They suck. I don't know anything, okay? So maybe this is just a made-up story that I wrote this book. Guess what, guys? I wrote this book, and somehow I copied and pasted it and make it seem like Habakkuk actually did it. You know what, guys? Nobody said this to me. Nobody. I'm telling you, you guys have no clue what I'm going through. You think I'm lying? I don't want this. You can have it. Whoever thinks that I'm lying, please take it from me. Ask the Lord for you to pass this message, because you know why? Because nobody wants to hear me. And everybody's calling me a hater, a racist. Man, I've never been called these things before. The reins of their horses were as fire, their faces black as pitch, their eyes shone like burning candles. Their horses were swift as leopards, and the riders fiercer than a wolf in the sheepfolds at night. Who are these guys? These guys are who? Africans, Phoenicians, Africans. I mean, what more do you guys want? Yeah, I'll give you more. All right, let me tell you what. I'm gonna give you more. Not that we're on the topic. I'm gonna give you more because I think it's we're at that point now. All right. So watch this. I'm gonna give you more. Okay. I'm gonna give you more. And this is a so-called African historian. Your people. Watch what it says in that particular page, page 32. Watch this. This guy's an African king. All of these guys that you guys show, they're African Phoenicians. Look, Blackamoor, more. Watch this. Now I'm going to read two of them. It says here. This is from a quote from Leo Africanus. I said that in my other video. This guy was from 1600. You'll see it. He was an African. Okay. It says, for all the Negroes or black Moors are descendants of Cush, the son of Ham, who was the son of Noah. But whatever difference there is between the Negroes and the tawny Moors, it is the fact that they are of the same ancestry. Leo Africanus. I'm going to read that real quick. As a matter of fact, let me jump to it right now. You guys, I don't understand. You woke up. I guess you woke up the spirit, man, because I was not feeling this before. All right, so let's find out what exactly is it that I'm doing wrong. A-G-O. Wait, what the hell? Oh, my bad. Here it goes. A-geographical. A-geographical. Okay, here we go. Bam. All right, here we go. So now we're gonna look at what do you call it? Leo Africanus, which, by the way, you guys say that America was named after Amerigo Vespucci and Ezekiel Africanus as white men. They weren't white men; they were black men. Why do you guys have to lie, man? You don't gotta lie. You don't have to lie. Just I don't know what to tell you. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. Wait a minute. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, here it goes right here. All right, let's see. Okay, here we go. Here it goes right here. This is from Leo Africanus, okay? This is a book, watch. I'm on page, here, I'll find it. This is, look, watch. I'm showing you guys. See, all you got to do is just read your information, and nobody will debunk you. But you guys don't read it. Or I don't know what it is. You guys are very selective. It's from the 1600s, right? We see that, right? It's translated because this guy's French. Yeah, the Black French, okay? So you can see it's an old book. It's a very old book. Watch what he says. I mean, this guy is there. He's in those times. It says here. I'll read it because it's irrelevant. It is relevant, I guess, anyway. The greatest part of which people are thought to be descendants from Cam or Ham, the the curse of son of Noah, except from Arabia or lineage of Shem, which afterwards passed into Africa. Okay, so it's basically just kind of giving you guys an idea. So here's the point. Here is what Leo Africanus had said, which Ivan Sertimus had quoted. All right, this is a famous African. So any of you guys that think you know what you're doing, you're basically saying that he's full of shit. That's what you're saying. Excuse my language. For it says, for our Negroes are blackamoors, for our Negroes or blackmoors take their descendant from Cush, the son of Cam or Ham, who was the son of Noah. But whatsoever distance between the Negroes and the Tawny Moors, certain it is that they had all one beginning. For the Negroes are descendants of the Philistines, and the Philistines of the Mesraims. And the son of Cush, but the Tawny Moor fetched their pedigree from the Sabians, which, hold on, and it is evident that Saba has begotten of Ramah, which was the eldest son of Cush. It all comes back to this original. Watch this. Diverse other opinions there be as touching this matter, pretty much, which because they seem not so necessary, we have purposely omitted. Meaning, they don't give a shit what anybody says. Nobody, what you say. This is what they're saying. You so-called black man, you so-called black woman, okay? You guys are Philistine Canaanites. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. And I'm going to show you this because it says you're Philistines, right? Okay. You're saying that I don't know anything. You're saying I'm crazy. Okay. Maybe I am. Maybe I am. You know, thank God. Give me a second. Let me find it. Where are you? Let me see. Is it there? I just talking about particulars. Let's see. Hold on. Let me read this page here. Oh, I'm looking for that. Oh no, that's not it. This is. Oh yeah, it is. It is. Okay, hold on. Page 165. What am I looking for? Page 165 says. Nah, that's not important. Page 2. Oh, this one. Watch this. 298. Look what it says in 298. He says, and I quote, 298. 260. Okay, here it goes. It says here, the Egyptians, as Moses writes, fetched their origin from Mesraim, the son of Cush, the son of Cam, who the son of Noah, and the Hebrews call both the countries and the inhabitants of Egypt by the name of Mesraim. You see how he separates himself as a Hebrew? This brother, this gentleman knows who he is. He knows exactly who he is. There's no denying it. There's no denying it. Hold on. I'm going to look for this, okay? Watch this. Remember, it talks about the Philistines, right? I'm going to show you something. When I was with a particular school, they showed us this, right? And when we first try to see it, it's really blurry, like this. You can't see anything, you know what I'm saying? So they're like, yeah, brother, look, brother, you see all these bands? Yeah, we know where they're at. That's why we're going over there, Africa. That's why they're in Africa. They don't give a damn about South America or Central or anything. They don't have no schools over there. But in Africa, they have several, okay? So like, yeah, brother, yeah, you know, like, da-da-da-da-da-da. Okay, perfect. But I guess the Most High knew that something was going on, right? So when you look at this map, you start seeing that, wait a minute. Yeah, there are, but they said Jewish colonies, paganism with Judaism. You start seeing details, and then the weird part is it says here, White Libyan dynasty, founded among the Negro. Why didn't you guys show us that? Okay, but that's not all, because over here, they actually explains like Jewish kingdom of Granada, you know. You could have just basically said that. So now here's where it gets really interesting. Remember the part where it says, let's see, let me go back. I'm gonna read it again. It says, for all Negroes, okay? Not some, not a few, all Negroes. Every single one of y'all that has woolly hair and dark skin, not red, not like us, Negroes. There's no such thing as aboriginals. You guys are not God. You didn't create another race, okay? For all the Negroes or blackamoors take their descent from Cush, the son of Cam or Ham, who was the son of Noah. But whatsoever difference between the two Negroes and the Tani Moors, certain it is that they have all one beginning. For the Negroes descended from the Philistines. The Philistines and the Philistines of the Mizrahims, okay? Remember that, the Philistines. So then now I'm like, remember this map? Like, okay, cool. But then all of a sudden, guys, guess what? Once I get a hold of this map real clear, guess what happens? The Minoan Philistines. Watch what it says. The compiler of Genesis 10:14 knew that the Philistines and the other Creatines were in a oasis stronghold, basically in the center of Africa, controlled by Egypt. Cashlum, out of which came Philistine and Capharim. It is not possible on a so small map to show all surviving Philistine communities. Maybe there's a few that are legit. Maybe Mumbai is legit. But you guys are lying. Why hide this information? And that's not all. I'm not done. I mean, I'm almost done. But I got one more. So we see that, right? So here's how this happened. This is weird, man. We're moving stuff around, right? We're moving stuff around. And my daughter, she's a year and a half, and she hands me this book. Now, I'm going to tell you something. This book is not very scholarly. It's horrific, to be honest, because I'm not used to these simple-ass books. It's a gentleman called Lee Cummings. You know, the guy that you saw, right? And when I first got a hold of it, I'm like, oh, man, I was going to return it. Because I'm like, I can already tell this is not solid stuff, But I kept the book. It only cost me $25. Last night, for some reason, my daughter walks up to me and she gives me this book. She just hands it over to me. I was like, oh, thank you, Mommy, thank you. I put it in my office, put it on the ground. I'm taking these notes, and the next thing you know, I look over and I go, remember the instructions that he says, once or twice he'll give you a hint? So I opened the book. And this is what I found, okay? So let me go back to that video. You guys decide. Who the demons are. If I'm the demon,
French or black Europeans that were sold directly.
Then I hope I die.
The people were living.
Okay. There's an agenda, guys. There's an agenda by this punk Cootie Mail, right? He is a punk.
Spectrum presents
and he's a sellout.
Useless dish.
You a sellout to your people. Because if you are our people, then you're either a sellout, and if you're not our people, then you're a Khazar.
Hollywood, you already know.
And you're misleading these people, letting them think that, oh yeah, look. Dude, this is called this is actually CIA work, man. This is psyops right here.
We see people
you guys
walk
have no
past our
clue.
house.
This is exactly what they do. They manipulate the mindset, give you so much information left and right, every direction. You have no clue how to decipher anything. So you're like, oh, I'm an Aboriginal. Oh, I'm a Hebrew. I'm an African. I'm an Egyptian. I'm a Kemetic. I'm a Mexican. I don't give a shit. I don't want none of that. How's that?
He is about 42 years old. I took this a treasure. He may show him like a Spaniard or more. Be black.
A lot of you've seen his
expression, right?
To these books by Lee Cummings. A lot of you've seen his books, the Negro Question, and there's like about 6, 7, 8 parts. The world history that is being taught in the classrooms omit the existence of the Black Scots, Black Irish, Black Brits, Black Italians, Black French, or Black Europeans that were sold directly into the American slave plantations. Again, what had I been saying? Who was really coming in over here in ships by the thousands and thousands and thousands? That was Europeans, both black and pale-skinned Europeans. Not just black, all right? But also not just white.
So I'm thinking he's going to continue, right? I'm like, okay.
So it says here, the Scottish kings of England.
All right, so here he has a picture of King James.
Right, so I think he's gonna. I'm just letting it go.
All right, all right. So this is an image he has here of King James. All right, so he got a little curly hair and stuff. So they're showing here. So James, by the grace of God, King of England. All right, He says, I know that this image of a black King James can be a little confusing because of your Western education, but this is the truth that is known by the rich and the elite in the world. That was the reason I paraded all of the English historians and professors before I got into the bowels of this book. I had to get your mind ready to receive the truth. King James came from a long line of black Scottish Stuart.
A long line of black Scottish Stuarts. You guys are ignoring all of that, and you say you're Hebrew Israelites? You say you're Hebrews, and he's coming from a long line of Stuart kings? Do you guys not read the Bible? Didn't y'all say that Esau is the dukes?
The Stuarts. 343 years of rulership in Scotland. The Stuarts not only ruled and able to rule, were all his hand and symbolism to read the symbol.
I'll be honest, man. I can't stand listening to this guy.
Charles I of Scotland.
Dude, you're born in America and you don't even... What is wrong with you, man? Honestly, I bet you don't even speak Spanish well either.
Scotland and England. That Oliver Cromwell invaded Scotland, killed is that Europeans conquered plan on my part, and we are ignorant of their existence as.
I'm trying to hurry up and see if he shows something to us regarding. Okay, see, look, watch. So I'm
American
thinking,
community, so-called African American, right? A lot of blacks have Scottish and Irish last names. Very interesting.
He doesn't get into it. So then I'm like, Now I know something's up. At that very moment, I knew something was up. And I'm going to show you guys what I mean by that. Okay? This is that book that I'm talking about. And this is what stood out, okay? So as you know, we've dealt with this, right? This, from every single camp that you so-called Hispanics and natives, you Hebrews, right? Every single camp you're in, they say this. These are Jews. 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 Look, brother. Look, brother. These are Jews. Look, brother. I already said what blackamoor means, right? They say these are Jews. But like, look, you're saying the white man gave you this the white man brought us this doctrine, but you're actually the one pushing the doctrine, so you gave it to the white man. It comes from Egyptian. That's where it comes from. Look, you think this is a white guy? This is English. Oh, here goes right here. Russian, 1696 to 1781. But I thought you guys were in slavery. Look. That's an ugly looking picture. Look. I already showed you guys the plates. And you know what? That dude, that damn heathen animal, Culimeo, he has the book that I have. Which is why I know that he is a damn agent. So whoever's listening to him, y'all be careful with him. Because he don't give a damn about you. He cares about his money. He sold out his people. He's basically, he's not our people. So if he's a Khazarian, then because there's a lot of them in Mexico, guys, in South America. And there's a lot of them. They look like us. They're not us, okay? So more likely he's that. And he's manipulating your mind because what is he doing? He's falsifying information, not giving you guys a real talk. Okay, let's do real talk. Real talk, Booty Mail. Real talk. Because I know you live somewhere else, right? I wish you didn't live somewhere else. I wish you lived here in the States. I wish you lived close. So you and I could sit down and talk like men. And you show me that you are for real a scholar teaching the people the truth. You're not. You and your damn broke up weird accent. I don't even know where you're from, man. Stupid. Watch this. I'm going to embarrass you right now. I'm going to show the people that you're a liar. And then all these other people that either they don't know or they're liars just like you. Okay? So now we know that this is King James. And they're saying that he is a Hebrew. So remember, guys, these people, they're generations, right? Generations of bloodline. You can see Scots from years. So these crests tell you everything about them. So, like I said, my daughter gives me the book, and I'm like, oh, God. But then I said, you know what? There's a reason behind it. Well, I found out why. You see, guys, hey, listen, if you read the King James Bible, fine, it's not a problem. But a black Phoenician man authorized to rewrite it. You want to know how I know? You see this right here? Look at that. You can't really see it, right? That's the emblem. That's the chest, okay? This right here, that's the heathen stuff. That's not Hebrew. And you guys are ignoring it. You blacks are ignoring this. So you either don't know or you are part of you are basically heathens like him. Okay, so now I'm going to basically expose you guys. The seal of King James VI. You see this? Black King James. Fine, you black. You're a Canaanite. By all means, I don't care. But look at this. You see this emblem right here? It's a guy on a horse, right? And he has like some kind of sword, right? And then when you look at him like on there, it's the opposite end. So now I'm going to show y'all. I looked this up. So this right here is exactly what you're looking at. How come you didn't show this, Cootie Mail? How come you didn't show this, Mr. Scholar? There it goes right there. You see that, guys? There it goes right there. That's the emblem. Okay? That's the emblem. I'm not lying. Look. Am I lying? Am I lying? It looks identical except the other way. And you know who has it facing the other way? He is. See that? He has it facing that way. How come Cootie Mail didn't bother telling you guys that? So now who these people are, they are the crest is called the Saracen on horseback. Plate 13311, right? You see that? 133. Oh man, I don't want to do this. It's 13311, right? It takes too long to move. All right, so now let me close this. Okay? 13311. All right? The Saracens. The Saracens. They're the Saracens. So who are these guys? Who are these guys? Look, I did a basic Google. A basic Google, guys. Not complicated. Basic Google. North Africa people. And it gets interesting because I started looking for these guys, right? And quite frankly, man, there was so much false information. And I was like, why is it not capable? So I did a different way. I'm going to give you guys a hint. There's a couple ways to find history. Because people that are evil, they will always boast about that. Or in the medical field. And in the medical field, they keep track of historical records. You see, again, guys, I come from insurance. I used to sell health insurance. So that gave me an idea. Watch this. Okay? I'm going to show you. Where are you? Right here. Hold on a second. Let me look for you. Okay. Legacy. Watch this. It even says it right in your face. The Saracens are what? The Moors and Saracens in Europe, estimating the medieval North Africa male legacy in South Europe. They investigate the legacy of the Arabs. Y chromosome, North Africa, medieval legacy, Southern Europe, North African, hello group. I don't know. I don't believe in that, but look, they're basically saying, look, we've already seen enough already, right? We've seen enough. I mean, we're seeing it, correct? The Saracens. See? Referred to either Moor or Saracen in their arrival in Europe in 711 among Europeans. Their arrival, where do they come from? They spread their language and religion to the native Northwest African Berber population. They're the ones that brought the Druids, the Stonehenges, the devil worshipping, because that's Canaan. Okay? So this guy that you guys read the Bible from, he's not a Hebrew. He's telling you that he's a Saracen of an African bloodline. No, look it up yourselves. Are you guys not aware? I mean, look, as an eagle flyer, how much more lies are you simple? I'm gonna call y'all silly doves now. You so-called Hispanic. Now you're a silly dove. Because if you're in those rooms and you get a chance to see this class and you still wonder if I'm lying, then you deserve to be there. Let me show you. I'm done. I'm basically done. You know what I mean? I'm almost done. Let me show you guys something. Let me remind you guys of something. So let me remind you. Right here. You see this? This is not in 1900s, like 2010 or 2030. That's a long time ago. It's a long time ago, right? Okay. So while you so-called black man and you so-called white man, you guys enjoying yourselves, getting laid, you're doing the same thing you're still doing now. You guys were in power, you guys were passing laws. You have all these people here, they enslaved our people. You see that list of individual slaves? These guys enslaved us. But you guys are friends with them. You guys think they're Hebrews. They're lying to you. I just showed you that King James is not a Hebrew. He's a Phoenician. He comes from the Phoenician bloodline. I don't know what more I'm going to have to prove. No, as a matter of fact, let me bring that up because you know what? I want you guys to remember while they were in luxury, enjoying their life, right? Now they're complaining. They've had 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 400 years of thriving in America. While we were in servitude, while we didn't even have the Bible. I'm going to show you guys. We didn't even have the Bible. While we're in servitude, they're having a great old time, and now they're blaming us. Now you guys are saying that we did that. Okay. So while you guys were passing laws, this is what was happening to us. All right. This is from the Lutheran newsletter. I have a copy of it, but I have the actual link, and I just haven't really wanted to look for it again. I found it years ago. This is what's going on while you Phoenicians, while you Caucasians, enjoying yourselves in pleasures of life. The printing press came to Mexico in 1539, for in that year there was printed in Mexico in Spanish the brief compendium of Christian doctrine. That's what I'm talking about when you guys told me that my precepts suck or they're not part of your list. So I guess you have a brief compendium of Hebrew doctrine. Anyways, under the supplies of the famous Bishop Fray Juan, so whatever. That was just 81 years ago before the Mayweather brought the first pilgrims to Plymouth Bay. Okay, so from 1539 to 1810, when the immortal Hidalgo raised the city of Mexico independence, and during the 271 years of the Spanish rule and the misrule in Mexico, Spain not only did not give Mexico a Bible, but sternly prohibited the publication of any part of the sacred scriptures in that language or in the language of the Mexican people. That prohibition is still enforced in 1900. 122 years ago, this was still enforced. Okay, still enforced. That prohibition was still enforced with regards to the printing of the Bible in any sort of 52 different languages or dialects. The first edition of the Bible in Mexico was printed in Latin and Spanish in between 1831 and 1833. They've been here since 1492. Okay, but check this out. It appeared in 25 volumes. It was an atlas, cost over $200, meaning like almost $8,000 for a poor-ass Mexican. Yeah, we're really going to afford that. And then the worst of it all is in Latin. And then in Spanish. And 90% of the people in that year were illiterate. Yeah. So that still remained prohibited book to the great majority of the people. A magnificent copy of this edition is before me as I write. So I say to that Spain never allowed Mexico the sight of the word of God in all the centuries of their dominion. Of course, the Latin Bible could have had. For 350 years, the Mexican press has been at work to live to lives of saints and catechisms and the silliest, most vapid, immoral tales in Spanish and taken from the Italian and French. But the Bible is today an unknown book in Mexico among the majority of the people. You see that? Italian and French. Now, we know that the French were black and the Italians were black and the British were not, but everyone else was. So guess what, guys? You guys were not enslaved. You didn't go through hardship. You didn't go through a transatlantic slave trade. You didn't do any of that. You lied to our people, King James is not a Hebrew. He's a gosh darn damn heathen Phoenician demon. And all of you that are pushing that book who just got destroyed. If you so-called Hispanic that are a true Hebrew, you're still in those rooms and you're listening to me and you're sitting there, I pray to God he has mercy on your soul. Because use common sense, guys. Common sense. We haven't had the Bible. And I still remember, I'm 40 something, 46, right? I still remember, I was about 4 years old, and I still remember the Latin mass that we went to. And I asked my mom, Mom, what is he saying? He's not facing us. They used to give their backs to us and go, speaking in Italian. Right? In 1970, you guys had the Bible since you came with that doctrine. And then after the Civil War, all it took was the white man to do a couple of things, and you guys were destroyed? You're not Hebrews. Because you remember the Exodus? No matter what they were doing to us, we were still multiplying and we were still keeping the laws as best as we could. You guys are not. You guys are living the heathenish, damn Canaanite way. That's why you see Sodom and Egypt. That pyramid, that's you guys. The eagle, that's you guys. The white man is just like in between of the road. His time's gonna end. But the Most High is gonna destroy you guys and make you slaves to our people for even acting like you are people in the first place and making us submit to yourself as if you're some great Judah. That's evil work, man. Y'all cannot be looking at your brethren like that. You can't look that. You got to have the equality in a sense because that's the only way. You saying that, hey, look at your brother. If you see your brother, you see Christ. Oh, but I'm Judah. Dude, are you saying you look down on Christ? You can't make this stuff up. The vision of Obadiah, thus saith the Lord concerning Edom. We have heard a rumor from the Lord and the ambassador sent among the heathen. Arise ye and let us rise against her. Behold, we have made thee smaller on the heathen. Thou art greatly despised. The pride of thy heart hath deceived thee. Thou that dwellest in the cliffs of the rock, whose habitation is high, that say it in their heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? I shall exalt myself as the eagle. As the eagle. That means he's not the eagle. He will exalt himself as the eagle that you guys established. And thou though set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring you down. So he's setting his nest, meaning he wants to be like the so-called black man right now, but it's not going to be possible. Because the Most High is going to destroy him. So now we're going to go to Obadiah 1 and 20. And the captivity of his host, of the children of Israel, shall possess of the Canaanites. Yes, you guys. Even the Seraphims and the captivity of Jerusalem, which is in Sephard, and shall possess the cities of the south. You brothers and sisters, man, shalom. I love y'all. I'm going to end it with the video. Listen to the whole thing. You guys either get it or you don't. You won't hear from me in a couple of weeks, man. I'm trying to get some rest.
Todos aquí, mujeres, niños, viejos. Todo el mundo tiene que ver esto. Comandante, esto volverá a los indios en nuestra contra durante generaciones.
¿Por qué no os unís a los franciscanos y salváis sus almas? Si es que las tienen. Si se entromete, restadlo.
A ver, los evangelistas. Mateo, Marcos, Lucas, Juan. Padre, ¿podéis ayudarme? Creo que he olvidado los nombres.
César,
Carlos,
Manolo, Paco,
Federico, Felipe.
A ver, ¿quién hará de Jesucristo?
Te bautizaré y obtendrás la gloria y la paz en el cielo. De lo contrario, sufrirás un tormento eterno en el infierno. En el nombre de Cristo todavía puedes salvar tu alma. Aprender la diferencia entre el cielo y el infierno. Pedirle perdón al Señor. Yo te bautizaré y obtendrás la gloria y la paz eterna en el cielo.
These were not white men, guys. Hint.
De lo contrario, sufrirás un tormento eterno en el infierno. ¿Me ha entendido bien?
Kichu cristiano Salomon. ¿Van los cristianos al cielo?
Los buenos cristianos, sí.
¡Cachahuaychis, infierno, man! ¡Mándenme al infierno! ¡Silencio! Esto es lo que os ocurrirá si desafiáis a los cristianos.
Just so you know, black man, black woman of Phoenician descent, that was you guys. Or black woman, that was your man. To this victimization, you guys are a joke. You guys are a sincere joke. That's how weak-minded you guys are. It took only one generation of your people to be destroyed. And we've been going through this so many years, even with the struggles, even with the Monroe Doctrine, even with the Tortonili Act, even with all the obstacles in the world, we're still the hardest working people in the world. And we have traits of food, clothing, diet, customs. I mean, shoot, let's put it this way. Y'all can't even just do the basic modest thing. You black women have an issue with just being modest. And you're a reflection of your man, or your man is a reflection of you. So trust me, your actions show who you are. And I just exposed you guys that the people that you had enslaved 1,000 years ago, they said the same thing that Habakkuk has seen way before. And now we're reading it today. Guess what? After this guy said that he's John the Baptist, I bet you the Most High got so mad at you and he said, you know what? I'm done. So he picked somebody as stupid as me, as lowest, as base as possible, the worst that you can choose from to embarrass the wisest of y'all scholars.
Technical 15, Chantapi Shailini, Abulki Chesta, Agudos Kardai Chesta, Technical 15, Chantapi Chesta, Agudos Kardai Chesta, Chantapi Shailini, Abulki Chesta, Agudos. ¿Qué dicen?
Os desprecio a vuestro Dios, desprecio vuestra codicia.
Agudos Kardai Chesta.
¿Qué están diciendo, padre? ¡Su nombre! ¡Tendrás que somos nunca! ¡Será olvidado!
Bueno, el autor viene a decirnos con mucha firmeza y gran convencimiento lo mismo que nos decía en el siglo XVIII el barón de Holbach, ¿no? Un filósofo francés de origen alemán. Si nos remontamos al comienzo, entonces hallaremos que la ignorancia y el temor crearon a los dioses. La fantasía, el entusiasmo o el engaño los adornaron o desfiguraron. La debilidad les rinde culto, la credulidad los conserva, la costumbre los respeta y la tiranía los apoya para que la ceguera de los hombres sirva a sus propios intereses.
you guys here being here with me. Oh, with all of us East Side. What's up, man? Shalom, bro. 115. Hey, what does that 115 mean? I'm kind of curious now, bro. East Side 115. If you don't want to tell me, it's all good. Oh, I used to say when I was little, it's all to the cheese. Yeah, I was a silly kid. Hey, listen, family, I'm gonna tell you this right now, okay? I did say that I have the schedule, but today is just I gotta do it. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, family. I'm sorry. It was on my mind the entire day, and I had a lot going on today. And I mean, I could not wash it away. And I'm like, I gotta do that class, because I had a class at the Dosis Diario, no? And it's about adultery. But I was like, man, I don't have it in my spirit to bring out the class. I don't want to, I never want to roll that way. I want the Most High to speak on my behalf. And I just couldn't do it, family. So today, hermanos, por favor, y hermanas que escuchan este canal y esperan las clases en español, perdón, pero ahorita en este momento it's not going to be in Spanish. It's going to be in English. Maybe a little Spanglish. The title of the class is called Partus Sequitur Ventrum. Partus Sequitur Ventrum. It's an Italian word. I think so. It should be. It sounds Latin as hell. Excuse my language. What the hell is that thing here? All right. So with that, what does that mean? Let's find out what it means. This was a law that was passed in just the standard information, right? It's just standard, like Wikipedia. Standard stuff. Partus Sequitur Ventrum. That which is born follows the womb. Arso partus was a legal doctrine passed in colonial Virginia in 1662 and other English crown colonies in the Americas, which defied the legal status of children born there. The doctrine mandated that children of slave mothers would inherit the legal status of its mother. As such, children of enslaved women were born into slavery. The legal doctrine of Partus Sequitur Ventrum was derived from the Roman civil law, specifically the portion concerning slavery and perpetual property. Okay, so obviously we know this whole, what? Here, I'm gonna show you. Where are you? This is this one. We know this, fam. We know about people that just complain.
The legacy of slavery and placing slavery at the center of the narrative. And that's what we did. It's not that we were hiding anything. I find the backlash in some ways unsurprising and in some ways surprising. For instance, with respect to Mr. Page, when one suggests that the 1619 Project is a project about Black victimization and not patriotism, it makes me wonder if Mr. Page even read the project or if Mr. Page even read my essay, because my essay is about how Black people, despite undergoing chattel slavery, legal apartheid, lynching, racial terrorism, segregated schools, segregated housing, segregated military, believed fervently in the founding ideals and have fought generation after generation to make those ideals true, and in fact had a faith in a country that didn't treat us as citizens and expanded democracy for all Americans.
So apparently they were ignored. They fought so hard for this country. Well, let me remind you, you fought hard for this country. You fought wars for this country, wars that got lands taken. Things that make you go, Here, I'm going to show you guys something real quick, because it's beginning to be like this. And I don't know if you guys remember. You guys remember this when you were little? Because it kind of gets to this point. Yes, I said it. Because somebody's going to have to tell you guys. You see, this here apparently seems like it's just for so-called Black folks. Oh, Black people suffer so much. I wouldn't say that if it wasn't for the talk. As if y'all were the only ones. As if we are not here. You forget when you say all the wars that you fought with the white man had to do against us. Do you not realize that these lands were never yours? Partis aequatis ventrum, okay? This law wasn't against black folks. It wasn't against black women. It wasn't against anything black, blackety black. You know what it was against? It was against our gente. That's why I named the title and I have the pictures. I have the pictures to prove it. And I have the books to prove it. Oh, and I know you guys are going to run. You guys are going to get mad and, oh, yeah, this guy's a racist. You know what it is? It's this right here, okay? It is this right here. Because y'all are so good, bro. You guys are so good. You guys are so good to do this. Look, let me be quiet.
Love thy neighbor as thyself. That's right. All right? Let's answer this question. Read what you got. I want to ask you a couple questions, too. Come on. Chapter 6. Hold on, bro. I'm about to read. I'm about to answer your question right here. Come on. The book of Psalms, chapter 68 and verse 11. Bring it out. The Lord gave the word. The Most High God gave the word. That's right. And what does he look like? He's a black man. That's right. He has woolly hair. Right. And when Christ comes in sun, he's a black man as well. He has woolly hair. That's and he's right. Going to judge this whole planet Earth. Right.
I was surprised at the young as hoes. I ain't surprised, because I was there when they grandmas and great-grandmas first got a hold of that crack cocaine. And they used to be known for a good plate of neck bones, and they came to be known for a good bone in their neck. That's how it went. Now, they're going to say I'm lying. But what we do know is that there was an epidemic, so somebody was smoking crack. And we know there was a whole lot of crack babies, and crack babies don't come from no man. So, say I'm lying all you want, but fact of the matter is, the things your grandma would do for $20 was downright disgusting. Like I say, she was known for a plate of neck bones, and then she came to be known for a bone in her neck. And mouth was like that trap that the Ghostbusters have, just taking souls. And now, the young guys, it's family tradition now. You got generations of fixing their mouth like this. Hit the blunt. Drink the bottle. Hit the crack pipe. Make the money so you can hit the crack pipe. It's family tradition now. So everybody could try to play crazy. I ain't surprised. I knew what you expect the babies of them crack whores was going to be doing. And that's who these is out here now. These the grandbabies and great-grandbabies of them crackheads. So I know when your grandma used to get dropped off at the dope house and she ain't had no money, and somehow she was in there 3 days getting high. And when she come out, she can't barely talk because her jaws is sore. Now you run in there and ask her that, because somebody was smoking it. Y'all ain't. I'm not saying y'all ain't gonna make me feel no type of way about it. I know what was going down, and I know who grandma was doing what.
The Lord's going to judge America. Right. America is the last kingdom before Christ comes. Right. America has not been judged for the evil that it has done upon the whole world. Right. America has raped, robbed, and pillaged the whole planet Earth. Right. And these are the accessories. All right, the so-called white man, because he's not white, he's red. That's and there ain't no hate campaign. Right. This is truth. This is truth.
Okay, you guys hear that? This is truth. I am only speaking truth. Truth, but nothing but the truth. So help you God. Hey, shalom, Vladimir. Let me shalom you, Eastside, again, because you know me, man. I'll just jump in class, bro, and I just honestly just forget. You know, I'm not here to impress anybody. Nor am I here to get some kudos for you guys. So, oh my God. No, I'm not, fam. I'm not trying. Please, don't be offended. Don't be offended. I love y'all very much, but I don't need that. Honestly, I don't. This is of the Most High. Listen, man, if it wasn't for him, I'd still be a bum, probably alcoholic, maybe dead. Maybe dead by now. You know, that's probably as bad as my iPhone's getting. You know what I mean? I keep dropping it. It's just broken. I would have been that bad. Deuteronomy 29:29. Let's go. The secret things belonging unto the Lord of our God. Let me read that again. The secret things belong unto the Lord our God. But those things which are revealed belong unto us and unto our children forever, that we may do all the words of the law. Let me read that again. But those things which are revealed belong unto us and only us. Listen, family, you guys need to start really stepping it up in your level of spirit. Hold on to that rock, man. Y'all are the Israelites of the Bible, the real people of the book. You fit every curse. You fit all the diets. You fit all the clothing. You fit the languages, the history. I don't know what else you guys fit. For God's sakes, they got pyramids over there where we were in slavery, and we got pyramids over here, and we're in slavery again. You guys are forgetting? It's called spiritual Egypt. Hello. The secret things belong unto the Lord our God, but those things which are revealed belong unto us and to our children forever. I want y'all to remember that. Forever. You guys probably wondering, like, man, what you do? Drink coffee? No, bro, this is me. This is me. I've always been this way. Don't be surprised, like, oh, you got the spirit of the Lion of Judah. Nah, see, y'all Canaanites just you couldn't wrap your mind around the fact that, yes, us Mexicans, we're not just quiet. Pues usted ya sabe, señor. Y'all got it all twisted about who we are. All of it. In our own gente. The ones that are born here. Look, I'm going to play something so beautiful. I appreciate you, Julio, for sending me that, bro. I really do. I really do, bro. And you know what? I'm going to show y'all something real quick. I'm going to record that too, by the way. You know, Fire Marshal Bill. Fire Marshal Bill. I'm telling you something, man. You guys are the people of the book, the big book. Watch this real quick. Now, I know that some of y'all are still, you know, or I understand, man. We got brothers and sisters that are coming from the native tradition, and I get it. That's what, man. I got Qualecue on my back. Okay? I got the Aztec god is quote on my back. I tattooed that on my back. Right? And I got tribal stuff all over my body. I mean, it's not like I'm not familiar with that ideology. But what I'm trying to show y'all is that is what we eventually embrace because, well, we still kept the laws, though. And that will always define you. Regardless of what clothes you put on, what outfits you wear. You know what I'm saying? Y'all got to remember, we were keeping the laws of God. Watch this real quick. Let me show you. Stay in the vein.
And here I thought I was of the people, of the blood. Turns out I'm a figment of my own imagination. You know those people that are born and raised here in the United States that you refer to as Mexican, or that even self-identify as Mexican American? You know that in the strict sense of the word, they are not in fact Mexican. To understand this, you have to understand that Mexican is not an ethnicity, but a nationality. And if you are not a Mexican national or a naturalized citizen of Mexico, then you are not in fact Mexican. Mexico, or more correctly, Estados Unidos Mexicanos, is made up of 68 indigenous peoples speaking 63 indigenous languages. Now, most of those born here in the United States that we refer to as Mexicans can't even tell you what tribe or tribal nation they come from, because our people were not only colonized, but detribalized. The ones you call Mexicans are in fact of mixed indigenous blood. Now, as for the Aztec Empire, I'm sure you know that the Aztec Empire was a triple alliance, right? And that the most influential group within that alliance was the Mexica, or those of the Nahua bloodline, those of the Nahua nation. Now the Nahua, or the descendants of the Mexica, or Mexica, are the largest indigenous group living in Mexico today. And their ancestral language, Nahuatl, is the #1 indigenous language most spoken throughout Mexico to this day. We are still here. Nilsi, no toka tonahuac, kanekwak in Quequetnoki, Nemeshikak. No, neither the Spaniards nor the diseases eradicated or wiped us out. Your history books did.
Hey, it's about time y'all start waking up, family. Stop being afraid, for God's sakes, man. Grab this book. This is yours. This book is yours. It is your book. Stop believing these heathens.
Well, we're Judah. We're Judah, only revelation comes through us. Indeed.
Shut up, please. Revelation 3:10, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation. Listen, we have the white man for quite some time, haven't we? So obviously this is not the hour, is it? No, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. Behold, I come quickly. Hold that fast which thou hast, that no man take thy crown. So guess what? Some of y'all that did go into these camps, and we made it out of that fire, hold on to what's right for you. Because listen, fam, these nations, the so-called white man, the so-called black man, the so-called Arab, so-called Asian, so-called everybody else that you want to consider, they're not of this continent. And you got people, you got so-called black folks that say, well, Africa, yeah, they conquered this and the resources and all that. So then why the hell are y'all over here? If the resources are so great in Africa, why didn't you do it over there? If it was so great, why come here and make it like, matter of fact, you're here and it's great. When you were over there, it was decimation. Y'all ate your own poop. You couldn't clean your own toilets. Hey, if the shoe fits, wear it. Whoever it puts on, because historically it shows that Europeans were dirty people. We showed y'all how to brush your teeth. I wonder if it was just the white man. I'm just saying, because the white man and the black man came together. We know now that black conquistadors were just the same as white conquistadors. Yes, I know, the truth hurts. Behold, I come quickly. Hold that fast which thou hast, that no man take thy crown. Thy crown. Thy crown. Sirach 34. Let's go there real quick, fam. Let's go there real quick. Remember, I told you I'm going to give a 1 hour. Okay, this is still an hour class. I'm going to go quick on this. Cram it up. Sirach 24, 31. Watch what it reads. It says here, I said, I will water my best gardens. You know, when you, I mean, look, like, I don't know if you guys are all into gardening, and some people are, some people are not. Okay. I planted some trees, and in the summer, you know, obviously it was very exciting, man. And I was taking my time with them and, you know, watering them and stuff like that. And I was taking the time, you know, the timing and the daily, and waking up early in the morning and making sure that, you know, I give them that water, the nutrients. Just like Sirach 31, I said, I will water my best garden. You see, so you brothers and sisters, you're being watered. You are considered the best garden that he has. And I will water abundantly my garden bed. But y'all got to be able to receive it. You guys got to be able to receive it. Oh, man. Oh, praises. Hold on. Hold on. I think it's this one. Hold on. Give me a second, fam. There it goes. 2 Corinthians 14:40. Watch this. So when that water comes, fam, don't go off and think that that water is like some kind of, you know, psychedelic drug. No. No, por favor. I don't know why y'all think that. No. When the water comes to y'all, 2 Ezra 14:40, and I took it and drank it. And when I had drunk it, my heart uttered understanding, and wisdom drew in my breast, for my spirit strengthened my memory. Drink that water, family. Drink this brook that I'm shooting at you guys right now. Seriously. Taste it. Savor it. Sirach 34:21. I said, I will water my best gardens. You Hispanics, you natives, you brothers and sisters, y'all are the Most High's best garden in the entire world. I will water abundantly my garden bed. Why do you think we have this land over here? And it's so beautiful. And lo, my brook became a river, and my river became a sea. So you brothers and sisters that have ever said to yourselves, oh, I know the Bible, I know the whole book, you're off. Nobody knows the whole book. This thing is the sea. Nobody has 100% truth. Everything is in part. We see in part, which is why I always say, whatever I share to y'all, confirm it. I will yet make doctrine to shine as the morning, and I will send forth her light afar off. I will yet pour out doctrine as prophecy, and leave it to all ages, again, forever. Forever. Why? Because we're destroying the fake prophecies. That's what we're doing today. And we're going to continue to do it every day until maybe, man, the Most High says, all right, man, that's it. That's enough. You're done. Behold, that I have not labored for myself only, but for all them that seek wisdom. Family, this is why I do it. I'm gaining this information, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to share with y'all. Like I always said, yo me quito la camisa de mi amigo. No, me quito la camisa para dársela a mi amigo. Let me see if I can find that. Hold on. Hold on. What are they called?
Antes del nombre América, antes del hierro y la cruz, había pueblos que hablaban con la tierra y con la luz. No era un mundo vacío, era ciencia y corazón. La historia empezó aquí mismo, aunque el invasor no pida perdón. Sembramos tiempo en el cielo cuando el mundo no sabía contar. El cero nació en la selva, el maíz nos enseñó a pensar. Calendarios y medicina, ciudades frente al sol. No era mito ni leyenda, era pueblo, era voz. No fue descubrimiento, fue invasión. No fue silencio, fue opresión. Antes del mapa, antes de ti, había pueblos completos que no vas a entender. No éramos pasado, somos raíz, aunque nos llamen historia, seguimos aquí. Desde el barro del origen hasta el jaguar ancestral, desde la selva profunda hasta el águila solar, ciudades que eran mundos cuando Europa se partió, capitales que flotaban mientras el viejo mundo ardió. En la montaña aprendimos a vivir sin dominar, sin rueda y sin bestias, pero sabiendo gobernar. Caminos y comunidad, trabajo como misión. El poder no era conquista, era responsabilidad. No fue progreso, fue despojo. No fue fe, fue antojo. Antes del mapa, antes de ti, había pueblos completos que no vas a entender. No éramos pasados, somos raíz, aunque nos llamen historia, seguimos aquí. Hey. 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 Quemaron nombres, vendieron memoria, alzaron fronteras sobre nuestra historia. Nos dijeron atraso para robarnos la voz, civilización a balazos y la fe pa'l control. Pero la tierra recuerda, la raíz no se rinde. Aunque cambien las banderas, la herida no se extingue. De norte a sur somos la misma raíz, la misma herida que se niega a morir. De norte a sur nadie sobra aquí, Latinoamérica sigue y no va a pedir permiso para existir.
Del mar los vieron llegar, mis hermanos emplumados eran los hombres barbados de la profecía esperada. Se oyó la voz del monarca de que el Dios había llegado y les abrimos la puerta. Por temor a lo ignorado, iban montados en bestias, como demonios del mal, iban con fuego en las manos y cubiertos de metal. Solo el valor de unos cuantos les opuso resistencia, y al mirar correr la sangre se llenaron de vergüenza, porque los dioses ni comen ni gozan con lo robado. Y cuando nos dimos cuenta, ya todo estaba acabado, y en ese error entregamos la grandeza del pasado, y en ese error nos quedamos 300 años esclavos. Se nos quedó el maleficio de brindar al extranjero nuestra fe, nuestra cultura, nuestro pan, nuestro dinero, y le seguimos cambiando oro por cuentas de vidrio, y damos nuestras riquezas por sus espejos con brillo. Siglo XX y les abrimos la casa y los llamamos amigos. Pero si llega cansado un indio de andar la sierra, lo humillamos y lo vemos como extraño por su tierra. Hipócrita que te muestras humilde ante el extranjero, pero te vuelves soberbio con tus hermanos del pueblo. Oh, maldición de Malinche, enfermedad del presente, ¿cuándo dejarás mi tierra? ¿Cuándo harás libre a mi gente?
Mi gente, por ahí andan las noticias que según quieren deportar a toda la raza trabajadora y les hicimos este corrido, compa Kevin.
Para que le pongan oído dice más o menos así, compadre. Años tengo trabajando de este lado, buscando el mentado sueño americano.
Los gringos aquí ya no nos quieren, que según les estorbamos.
Se menciona mucho en los noticieros, traen muchos mitotesos del gobierno.
Resulta ya quieren deportarme, en eso no estamos de acuerdo.
Resulta que por ser inmigrante mi valor es insignificante. Si supieran lo que batallamos para salir adelante.
Ya con día salimos a chambear, no creo que a nadie le hagamos mal. Ya quisiera verlos trabajando como lo hace este ilegal. ¿Y qué culpa tenemos nosotros los inmigrantes por querer buscar nuestros sueños? ¡Ánimo, mi gente! Y no se me rajen.
Y así suenan los de la norte, compa Jesús Méndez. Puro elegante récord, mi viejo. ¡Ay, ay, ay!
Unos días no duermo y otros como mal, pa' que a mi familia nada le pueda faltar.
Se murió mi madre y a mi padre, espero volverlo a mirar.
Canto por mi gente, no se vayan a agüitar, que Diosito es grande y de esta ley nos va a salvar.
Nomás acuérdense de Florida, nos volvieron a ocupar.
Resulta que por ser inmigrante mi valor es insignificante. Si supieran lo que hemos sufrido para salir adelante.
Día con día salimos a chambear, no creo que a nadie le hagamos mal. Ya quisiera verlos trabajando como lo hace este ilegal.
Me está diciendo Claudia Shemo ya otayo. Shabete ya comerá joven que no poca lluvia. Tita pero bien que ag.
De donde soy no nos rajamos, cualquier tierra la trabajamos.
El sacrificio jamás es en vano, que hasta el espacio hemos llegado.
Where we are from no nos rajamos, and what we dream of lo realizamos. Gran paisano, hermano, amigo, soy mexicano. Y cambiamos de lugar, no de bandera. Verde, blanco y rojo lo llevo en las venas. Como el águila volamos sin fronteras. Rompemos la malla que separa tierras. Y nacimos con legado de grandeza. aunque de este lado me trajo la vida, siempre paradela como Pancho Villa. Y cambiamos de lugar, no de bandera, verde, blanco, rojo lo llevo en las venas, como el águila volamos sin fronteras, rompemos la malla que separa tierras y nacimos con legado de grandeza.
A nuestras mujeres y madres inmigrantes, un ejemplo de fuerza y valor. ¡Y que viva México!
Y aunque el acta diga americano, hay en puro mexicano.
Y cambiamos de lugar, no de bandera, verde, blanco y rojo lo llevo en mis venas.
Como el águila volamos sin fronteras, rompemos la malla que separa tierras y nacimos con legado de grandeza.
Ical, hijo, abre los ojos. Tu cuerpo se queda con nosotros, pero tu espíritu debe seguir. Busca la luz. Aléjate de las sombras. Deja que nuestro dolor sea tu fuerza. Desde aquí iluminamos tu camino. Lucha como nosotros ante esta pena tan grande. Yo soy tú. Tú eres yo. La muerte que hoy nos